Colonials win the toss. And elect to receive.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this football game between the Plymouth White Marsh Colonials and the Souderton Indians. I'm Brian Rosenfeld, joined along with my counterpart, Jason Mandel. How you doing tonight, Jace?
I'm doing just fine, Brian. It looks like we're about to go to the national anthem, then we can have some pregame.
And then we'll do some pregame shows. So we're going to step aside for a second and let you hear the rendition of the Star Spangled Banner with Tara Schauble, Mike Schaller, Sandy Pugliese, and Katie Swakowski.
And bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched was the gallantly streaming, and the rockets ripping, the bombs bursting in air. It proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sailors dressed on spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of
That was a great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Now let's go to some starting lineups. First for the Souderton Indians offense.
Sounding a little loud there, Brian.
Their offensive line is number 72 Snyder as the left tackle, number 61 Eberts the left guard, number 55 Barnes the center, number 74 Goslow is the left guard, number 66 Steinson is the left tackle. Quarterback is Nate Overhaul, number 18. Running backs number 24 Fretz, number 21 Mendez, number 11 Ball, that's it for the running backs. For the wide receivers is number 87 Bauer, and the tight end is number 6 Tahowski.
Okay, and graphics will be coming up for the Colonials momentarily. And Brian, you're coming across really loud to me, just so the guys in the truck know. And we'll see the backs and receivers first. And there you see quarterbacks Paul Kupfer, running backs Craig Quinn, James Scott, running back Dan Kelly, and wide receiver Jeff Brown as Craig Quinn takes off the kickoff.
We're underway here in this Colonials game. Craig Quinn took the kickoff, going about 5 or 6 yards, taking it up to the 28 or 29 yard line. Colonials elected to receive on the coin toss, and the ball is on the 29 yard line, almost at the 30. It's going to be a good matchup today between the Souderton Indians and the Colonials of Plymouth White Marsh. This is a game which could decide some playoff contention. I'm looking at the stats here. It's the area leaders in the Class Quad A District 1 football playoff points. Leading the district is Central Buck West with 48 points. This is before this weekend's game. Downingtown in second with 47, PW in third with 43, and Souderton in fourth with 42. So PW and Souderton third and fourth, 1 point apart. This is going to be a close game for playoffs. Let's take a look at the PW offensive line. There you see right tackle Chuck Tornetta, right guard BJ Murray, center Sean Beard, left tackle Steve Miller, left guard Brian Dugas, and the exceptional tight end Stuart Kupfer. Paul Kupfer back to pass at the line. Kupfer hands it off to James Scott. James Scott takes it around the end. James Scott's breaking it for 10-5. James Scott up to the 50 and finally brought down at the 50-yard line for a 25-yard gain, 15-yard gain for James Scott.
I mean, that's what you want. You want James Scott to get the game started. James Scott's capable of breaking one of any distance. And when you get James Scott the ball, you have potential for anything. So good start for the Colonials.
And that also goes for the rest of the offensive running backs, Craig Quinn and Dan Kelly.
And if the guys in the truck, we don't mean to be rude, just turn Brian's microphone down a little bit because it's coming across real loud.
That's a lot better. There
Thanks a lot.
That's perfect.
Real good.
Ball up at the 49-yard line. Kupfer and Brown in motion. Kupfer now back. Hands off to Craig Quinn. Craig Quinn up the middle, getting about a yard or two.
Craig Quinn on the carry.
Quinn getting about a yard or two. It's going to be second and about 8.
So the
And Snyder.
2nd and 8 for the Colonials. Ball on the 47-yard line, 0-0. Just starting the first quarter of action. As we said, this is going to be a big game to determine playoff standings. What do you think, Jason? What do you think the Colonials' key for the game has to be today? What do you think they have to do?
I think they've got to establish the run, but they're going to have to go to the pass as well. They can't just go through the whole game running the ball.
Scott and
because
the handoff was to Dan Kelly, picking up a yard.
Souderton's a good team, Brian. They're 5-1, like you said. I mean, this is a big division game, and the run's going to only get you so far. I mean, the run's definitely their best thing, but Paul Kupfer's got to come out again and show how good he is at passing the ball.
Now 37, ball on the 46-yard line. 3rd and long was something that the Colonials don't want to see too often this game.
No, they definitely don't. And that's why they like to try to run the ball on 1st and 2nd down. But these 3rd down situations where you like to roll out and throw to Stu Kupfer.
And Stu Kupfer catches anything that is generally in his area. He'll go up for the ball and somehow come down with it, no matter how bad or how good the pass is. Colonials doing a little switching up. Jeff Brown, Kelly, and Kupfer were in motion there. Kupfer, back to pass. This is Paul Kupfer, the quarterback. Kupfer passing, has Jeff Brown complete. Brown up at the 30-yard line. Nice play by Paul Kupfer, picking up 15 yards.
And that's what I was talking about, Brian. The little rollout pass, Paul Kupfer a little bit of time, and he found in one of his receivers, Jeff Brown. And Paul Kupfer was telling me earlier that Jeff Brown's got just great hands.
We haven't heard a lot of Jeff Brown in the first few games we've seen of the Colonials. Jeff Brown hasn't got a lot of he's got a lot of time, just hasn't got a lot of passes.
So the first test for the Colonials, they passed with flying colors with a nice 15-yard pass to Jeff Brown.
First and 10 now on the 30.
And they're moving. And like any game, one of the big things in this game is to run the ball. Is to score first. Team that scores first often gets most confidence in the game.
And off was to Quinn.
Quinn on the
Quinn
carry.
maybe losing a yard, maybe getting back up to the line of scrimmage. We'll see where they spot the ball. This drive started back at their own 30-yard line on the kickoff. Craig Quinn took the opening kickoff for about 5-6 yards.
Gain.
Getting no gain on this play. Kupfer now. Paul Kupfer, quarterback, junior starter. Playing good in his first 6 games so far, don't you think, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, he's done really well. I mean, he struggled maybe a little in the earlier games, but he's came out, and I really think he's only had like 1 or 2 bad games. And he's been as good as you can want him to be for right now at this point in the season.
Kupfer back to pass, being pressured. He's going to run it himself. Kupfer picking up about 2 yards.
On the carry.
Another rollout pass to buy Kupfer some time.
By Barnes.
This time he only gets 2 yards, but in past games we've seen how good Paul Kupfer can run the ball.
Yeah, it was a good decision by Kupfer. He decided not to throw it away and risk an interception. Decided to run himself, picked up about 2 yards. It's going to be now 3rd and 7, so he actually picked up 3.
So this Souderton defense has been looking for the run, and that's exactly what they've got. And they've stopped the run a lot tonight. Besides that one run by James Scott, the Colonials may have to go to the air a little bit more tonight.
And they put the Colonials in situations they don't like to see. 3rd and 7.
And they haven't seen these situations too often, but yet it's still early in the game.
Kupfer and Brown and James Scott all in motion. Brown and Scott receivers down to your near side of the screen. Kupfer, roll out pass. Kupfer has James Scott a little far for James Scott, a little bit ahead of him.
Just a little far for James Scott, and this probably brings up a 4-down situation, Brian.
Definitely what they have to go for. It's a little too long for a field goal and not long enough for a punt.
So in that situation, I'm almost surprised he didn't try to run the ball again because you know you're in 2-down territory. Matt Folt's a good kicker, but 44 yards is testing him. Is testing him.
But yet he threw to James Scott up at about the 15-yard line. So if he would have gotten it, it would have been a big game for the Colonials. But Kupfer throwing it a little bit wide. James Scott.
Now I think this play right here. I mean, this is where you love to have your brother on the receiving end of the field. So I mean, him or Craig Quinn and Jeff Brown, they all have good hands. See where he goes.
Brown down to your left. Craig Quinn in motion. Kupfer. He's back to pass. Kupfer sees James Scott. James Scott running at the 10. James Scott tackled at the 11-yard line. Nice run by James Scott. Nice running after the catch. Pick up 16 yards.
Great play by James Scott to go down and actually get that ball because the pass was a little behind him. He went down, got the ball, and got the yards after the catch.
Paul Kupfer did a little short drop there, about a 2 or 3 step drop, maybe. And a quick pass. I don't think Scott was ready for it. He just said he had to go down and get that ball.
Well, he
off
knew
the ground.
he knew before the huddle that the ball was coming to him, but it was a nice play.
Yeah, it was a nice quick pass.
Those 4-down situations where you need to convert on, the Colonials did.
First and goal, ball on the 10-yard line. Paul Kupfer has James Scott in motion. Ends it off to Craig Quinn.
Or Dan Kelly.
Dan Kelly picking up about 4
Kelly
yards.
on the carry.
4 or 5 yards for Dan Kelly. And that's what this Colonials team does. They have James Scott and Craig Quinn, which break it long, and then they have Dan Kelly to grind out those short yards, pick up 5 yards there. He's a big kid. He can take the hit.
Yeah, Dan Kelly's just so big and tumbling. I mean, whenever you their small guys aren't working, you throw Dan Kelly in there, and one of these 3 guys, something's always going to be working because there's got to be a weakness in the defense.
And this has got to be one of the best backfields in the state. All players averaging around 10 yards per carry through 6 games so far. And it's 2nd and 5, ball and 5. Handoff now to Craig Quinn around the left end. Quinn gets stopped.
Nice tackle in
Loss
there.
of 2. Great gang tackle.
55.
Souderton, number 55, that's Barn.
Matt Barn had a nice tackle. He held on to Quinn and just wrapped him up.
That's what you got to do.
So 3rd and 5 for the Colonials.
You can't let Craig Quinn get you going. He's one of the best, has one of the best cutback moves in the area. He's one of the best cutback moves in the area, if not the state. So you got to watch out for that. He'll just put a move on you, and he's going for the touchdown. We've seen him do that in games before, going 50 or 60 yards. Last week he had an 80-yard touchdown run, so can't let these guys go anywhere. Cuffer has Scott in motion. 2 wide receivers to the right. Cuffer hands it off to Craig Quinn.
Craig Quinn on the carry.
Picking up maybe 1.
You know,
Back up to the 5-yard line.
it just surprised me at first, Ryan, because the Colonials, when they rush the ball this many times in a game, it's just unbelievable for them to have this many 3rd and 4th down situations. The Souderton defense is stopping them, and if they can stop them here, this would be just a huge swing of emotion for Souderton.
They're actually going to go for the field goal now. Matt Fold coming out on the field, the first-year varsity field goal kicker, played soccer last year, now making the switch to football.
Watch the fake, Brian.
It's going to be about 21-yard field goal. Fold's kick is up and good. Matt Fold with a 29-yard field goal, I believe, around that area. It's the first field goal we've seen from Fold this year. He's been very good on his extra points. This is the first time we've actually seen him kick a field goal. Yeah,
I mean, it's nice to see him get a field goal, but that disappoints me, Brian, that when you're on the 2-yard line, you don't go for it and try to get those points because, I mean, it may not be that often. When you've seen this run defense, so you get down to that goal line, you've got to get in there. You had a real nice drive, and when you're only 2 yards out, I think that's 4-down territory. And when you're on the 10 or 15-yard line, then you may try a field goal. But I was surprised by Coach Yock's decision there, not quite like him.
But you know what? He's probably thinking, let's go for the safe thing. We know Folk can probably kick a 29-yard field goal. It's an almost definite thing. Why not? I mean, the running play, most likely they'll get the score, but there's also a bigger percentage chance that they won't get it. Then Fold will miss this field goal.
I mean, I'm sure he's thinking of, yeah, our defense can stop him anyway. But I mean, you could pin the defense, worst comes worst, down on the 2-yard line, and you've got a great defense. So, any case, that could be a big turning point in the game for Souderton. Turning point in the game for Souderton to hold Colonials to a field goal in the first drive.
Fold with a high kick, taking it to 15. Ball now up to the 20 and stopped nicely. Great hit by the Colonials. Number 32, Timmy Fleming, making the initial hit, along with CJ Sclafani and a bunch of other Colonial defenders. Now Nate Overholt bringing his team out onto the field. We already went through the starting lineups for them. They're going in with 3 running backs, a wide receiver, and a tight end. So go with the 3 running backs, as do the Colonials.
Yeah, the defense will be coming up in a minute or two, and we'll show you that.
After this play, we'll go to the Colonials defense. They're starting lineup. Overholt now at the line. Overhaul. He's back to Mendez. Mendez picking up about 6 and is finally stopped by the Colonials.
Yeah, Mendez, their best rusher. With that rush, he's got 100 rushes for around 505 yards and 5 TDs.
Right now we're going to show you the defensive line for the Colonials. Sorry to cut you off there, Jason. We'll get right back to the Mendez stat. Colonials defensive line. There you see defensive ends, Stu Kupfer and Dan Kelly with the tackles. Chuck Panetta and Brian Dugas, a big defensive line there. Now to the defensive backfield. We'll get to that. Get to the defensive backfield after the play. Overholt now back up to the line.
Now you're starting to sound a little high, Brian.
Overholt
Also
with a handoff up to Mendez again. I'm sorry, that's not Mendez. That is Fretz. Ball picking up 2. There you see the linebackers and backs. We have Timmy Fleming and Matt Kincaid, the inside linebackers, Craig Quinn and Steve Whitman, the outside linebackers, with the defensive backs, James Scott, CJ Sclafani, and Chris Dempsey. That's a little bit of a change from the last time we saw this Colonials defense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw CJ Sclafani and Dempsey get the interceptions last game. But, I mean, he's putting in the guys at work. Whatever works.
Overholt now back to pass. His first pass of the game. It's up caught nicely by number 6, Tahowski, the tight end.
Tahowski's the go-to guy. He's got 326 yards, averaging 20 yards a catch, and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, so Tahowski is their big receiver, picking up 6 right there. That's Overhaul's first pass, and he's 1 for 1.
So good start for Souderton, picking up the first down. Brian, I have a feeling it could be in for a game here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. That's what I was expecting coming into this game. 2 good teams going for the District 1 playoffs. Expecting a very good game. Overhaul now up to the line. 1st and 10. Overhaul hands off to Mendez. Mendez picking up about 9, maybe 10. It's going to be close to the first down. Tackled by number 42, Chris Dempsey.
And Brian, you're beginning to sound a little loud to me again, but Mendez doing a good job running, and it's got to be his offensive line also, because for holes to come out like that, just bam, bam, that's got to be the offensive line doing a good job as well. They're beating the Colonials off the ball.
Exactly, yeah. Colonials' defensive line looks a little bit slow. They're not getting off the ball as quick as they should be, letting Mendez and Fretz and Ball run all over them so far.
So uncolonial-like to start, coming out with a field goal and now letting Souderton march down this field.
The game is not even close to being over. It's just getting started. Overhaul now. Fake handoff, play action pass. Oh, a little bit wide, almost picked off by number 22, CJ Sclafani, who last week 2 weeks ago took an interception for the Colonials and ran it back for a touchdown. That was his 1 of 2 interceptions for the game.
Yeah, Oberhold just almost cost himself a real big situation there, because that ball was nowhere near the receiver. He probably just sort of thrown that away.
Timeout is called on the field with 2:56 left to go in the first quarter. Colonials up 3-0 on a Matt Fold 27-yard field goal. And I believe that was called by Souderton calling the timeout. Oh, official timeout was on the field. Sorry about that. So both teams have all their timeouts left. Overhaul now back up to the line. Overhaul can also be a dangerous runner from what I hear. Does a fake handoff there. Now finally gets it to Mendez. Mendez picking up about 4.
Boy, Mendez just looking very impressive to start out the game with. He said runs a 4, 5,
and 10.
10. I mean, he's impressed me so far, and
Yeah.
it's not just him; it's the offensive line.
Exactly, their offensive line is opening up holes for Mendez, and that's how he's getting his yards right now. It's 3rd and 4, ball on the 47-yard line.
Now Mendez has run the ball for 500 yards, but that's nowhere close to the Colonials 700 by Quinn and 600 and something by Scott, respectively. So I mean, but also their quarterback Overhaul does have 650 yards passing. That amounts for the offense.
Overhaul went to the option, back to I believe that's Mendez. Nice tackle by Craig Quinn. It's going to be a no gain, 4th and 4 now, and I believe they're going to punt. Ball on the 47-yard line. Nice tackle by Sclafani and Quinn. And Quinn and Stu Kupfer back to receive the kickoff. They started this about 2 games ago, with Quinn and Kupfer back, and it's worked out good for them. The Quinn and Kupfer combination back for the kickoff.
Yeah. Yeah, Quinn and Kupfer back on the kickoff. Craig Quinn Stu Kupfer's impressed a lot of people on the kickoffs. No one really thought that he was much of a kickoff returner, but Quinn does it all, right? Quinn and Kupfer do it all.
Ball will be down at the 13-yard line.
Kupfer definitely does a lot for this team. He plays, they play not just 2 ways, but 3 ways. 'Cause if you look at this team compared to a lot of other teams like CB West and the big teams in Bucks County, we have a very small team.
And we're going to go down to our man on the sidelines, Eric Kitai, who has something to begin this game. Let's go to him right now.
Danny Quinn on the carry.
Okay, we're back there. Some technical difficulties, but we'll get back to Eric shortly, I am positive of.
1 minute left to go in the first quarter, and I believe they're going to measure this one. Craig Quinn picking up maybe 10, and they're going to bring out the chains, I believe. And they are.
Who's running the chains? But
Dave
Dietz.
running the chains for this Colonials game. There you see Dave Dietz on your left.
He does it all.
Dave Dietz does do everything. He was even on CITV a few games ago. And it looks like that
He's going
to be just short, a few inches. It's going to be second in inches. So Craig Quinn picking up 9 on that last play. And now they're just placing the ball. Just placing the ball. Now it's going to be second in. It's officially second and 1. It's going to be second in inches about at the.
And this is a situation where you could try and throw a bomb. You know.
I'd like to see the bomb.
Or second in inches. I mean, you leave yourself with a third in inches if you don't get it. So.
Yeah, they have a lot of time to get this first down, but you have to realize they're only on their own 23-yard line about.
Well, I mean, try a play.
Cuffer now up at the line. Cuffer to James Scott. James Scott, he might not have gotten that one. That's going to be close again.
The Colonials play conservative and don't get the first down.
Exactly. It's going to depend on the spot here, but I don't believe he got it.
He may have lost a yard or two.
Yeah, James Scott possibly losing a yard.
On the play, it is now 3rd and 2.
The loss of 1, 3rd and 2 ball at the 22-yard line. Paul Cuffer now bringing his team back up to the line. 3rd and 2, ball on the 21. Time running down the first quarter, about 20 seconds left to go.
They should get one playoff.
Paul Cuffer,
Quinn.
fumble.
Craig
Fumble
Quinn.
on the play. Craig Quinn fumble. That's something he doesn't do often.
He fumbles it, and he luckily gets it back, but the Colonials do not get the first down and are going to be forced to punt.
And as we're talking to Stu Cuffer, we said he goes 3 ways. Jason, he actually goes 4 ways. He's actually the punter for the Colonials as well.
Right.
But they're not going to get this punt off before the end of the first quarter. At the end of 1, the Colonials are leading 3-0.
And we've got a ball game, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think the Colonials have played up to their par so far. They could have done a lot more, and they just haven't.
No, but we have to give Souderton the respect for their good run defense. But I think if Souderton's going to stop the run, let's show him the pass.
Exactly. We have that option. Paul Cuffer, a good quarterback. It's only his first year. It's his 7th game, but he's playing very well. He's handling the pressure good, and he's got great receivers. Jeff Brown, Stu Cuffer, Mike Cho, the backup tight end, and his running backs. All 3 of them can catch as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, it just takes a little regrouping, coaching maybe. And the Colonials just got to get it down by the middle of this game, because if not, it could be in for a long day. And, you know, I think the Colonials may have came into this game thinking, oh, Souderton's 5-1. You know, Souderton's 5-1, and we're 5-1. But I think the Colonials think they should be 6-0, and they didn't really believe all the hype about Souderton being so good this year. But Souderton's lived up to what all the talk about him. It's the first time in a while we see Souderton being such a good team and being such a threat. So the Stu Cuffer back to punt. A low snap. Oh, a booming punt by Cuffer. Taken at the 45. They try to do a little handoff. They fake the handoff. And that just made disasters worse. That's a tackle by number 61, Steve Miller. Number 24, is that Dempsey? John, oh.
Ball's going to be now at the 35-yard line.
On the 35-yard line.
Souderton ball. Overholt bringing his team up to the line. Having a good first half so far, although the points do not show it. Overholt now handing off to Mendez. Mendez picking up about 6 or 7 for Mendez, who so far has 4 carries for 28 yards.
Right now, the Souderton line is winning the battles against the Colonials.
Exactly, yeah, they're opening up holes for the running backs, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to beat this Colonials defensive line. The defense is the heart of this team. A lot of their team leaders are on offense as well as defense, but their defense is definitely the core for the team. It's gotten them through for the past few seasons. Overhaul now back up to the line again. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield. Overhaul. Fake pass, he's going to take it himself, I believe.
Nothing going there for Overhaul.
picking up maybe a yard, but I don't even think that.
Colonial's trying to show they have a good run defense as well, not just Souderton. And we've got one of the top run defenses in the area. But, I mean, if the Colonials can stop the run, and they could force the pass defense is where we really flourish with the blitzes and all those different packages.
One thing their Colonials are doing different now on defense is on third down situations for the blitz, they're putting in Adam Schaefer instead of Brian Dugas. Schaefer a little bit quicker, getting off the ball.
Wow.
For the blitz situation. I learned that in English class yesterday. I was talking to Adam.
Look at that, Brian. And you're right. And if they're going to run the ball in that,
that's going to be an offsides call. Chuck Turnetta jumping a little early, and that's going to give Souderton an automatic first down.
So Souderton gets the break there, but then now they put Dugas back in and take out Schaefer. You were right there, Brian.
They have Schaefer in for the passing, for the blitzing, and they have Dugas in there to stop the run.
If
it's something new they've done this year.
If Souderton sees that, Brian, it could really just, I mean, they're just going to run up through Schaefer, who's so small.
Exactly. He's a running back himself.
I don't know if that's something you should have went public with, Brian, but hopefully the coaches for future games won't see that. But that's a little move there they put in there.
It is.
It's a very dangerous move.
First and 10, ball at the 47-yard line.
I think the guys on the offense have got to see there's a smaller guy in there, and maybe audible.
You've got to be able to notice that, the difference between Dugas and Schaefer. Overhaul now, handoff back to Mendez. A ball picking up 1 yard. Maybe a yard.
Tackle by
Cuffer and Tornetta making the tackle. And that's what this defense has got to do. They've got to stop the run. So far, they've had 6 rushes to only 2 passes. So Souderton going to the run, as was the Colonials. Ball back up to the line again.
So what you want to do is you want to hold them in first and second down, so then on third and long they have to throw the ball.
Exactly. Overhaul now up to the line. He's got 2 backfields in the back. Fake pass. Fake run. He's gonna pass. Ooh, nice catch by Bauer, I believe. He's gonna go for the touchdown. Bauer for the touchdown. Nice play. That's a 52-yard touchdown pass.
And I was just speechless for a second, Brian, because I'm watching this play, and there's 3 guys on the Colonials that could definitely have tackled the guy. And they just missed tackle. It was poor tackling by the Colonials. I don't even think they even touched him. So we're in for a game. If you didn't think so before, you definitely have to believe so now. Colonials find themselves down, I guess the first time since Hapro Horsham, Brian.
Exactly, yeah, this is definitely the first time they've been down. That was not Bauer who scored, that was Tom Lynch, the 52-yard touchdown reception from Overhaul. And for the extra point, it's up. And it's no good, no good.
No good, so
that is definitely going to hurt them right there.
That could prove to be a big turning point in the game also, because now it's a 3-point game instead of a 4-point game. Right, and as you'll see in this touchdown pass,
there you see.
He catches it, and there's at least 2 Colonials that could have, 3 Colonials that could have tackled him. That was just poor tackling.
He didn't even put a really move on CJ Sclafani. He just missed him. That's definitely a play that should have been stopped earlier.
So this is not the type of Colonials defense or offense that we're accustomed to seeing. I'm sure our Kita will key on that.
Thanks, guys. As you've probably already mentioned, and it's an important game for both Souderton and PW tonight. The loser has virtually no chance of making the playoffs. Also, we're looking at the district's best offensive and defensive teams. Souderton's defense has held their opponent's rushing game to under 50 yards in each game, and that's probably going to take an effect on PW's rushing game, because that's what their offense is centered around. Also, the weather's going to play a factor in tonight's game. It's very cold out here. As you see, I had to borrow Mr. Mick's sweatshirt because I'm freezing my butt off. And so we're going to have to look for that as a factor in this game also. Back to Brian and Jason.
Well, maybe next time you won't wear shorts, Eric. But,
I commented it.
Good report there. But it's really not that cold. For football standard, this is a perfect night.
Craig Quinn takes the ball at the 16-yard line. Quinn up to the 30. Quinn still running at the 35-yard line, finally knocked out of bounds by a bunch of Souderton Indians. I'm talking about the weather. There's a fog starting to lay down over this field. Down by the left end zone, which is the one that Lynch just scored in.
I don't know.
I don't think that's going to play a factor, but it's something you just want to take a look at. Take a look at right now.
Say we're not talking about fog ball or anything, but
Now
Paul-
Kupfer brings his team back out on the field. They've got their spirits have got to be a little bit down right now.
Let's see how they react. They've got a lot of senior leadership on this team. That should take over this game.
Exactly. Mostly the entire offense is seniors, except for Brown and Kupfer. I believe all the rest of them are seniors.
But
So a lot of leadership here.
It all starts with the quarterback.
Kupfer to Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly picking up 3. Dan Kelly picking up 2. Ball now to 37.
As we're saying, Paul Kupfer, he is the leader on this team no matter what year he is or no matter how much the quarterback plays into this offense. In key situations, Paul Kupfer is going to have to make the plays. And with the Colonials finding themselves down 7-3, they've got to move the ball.
6-3, Jason.
6-3.
And that 6 is going to be a big factor. Now they're only down 3 instead of being down 4. That might hurt Souderton when the game comes down.
Well,
when it comes down to it at the end.
Not if Souderton's defense keeps playing like they are.
Kupfer to Craig Quinn. Craig Quinn picking up about 4.
Now there's that inside reverse that the Colonials run
They fooled me.
a lot of times. They run that play a lot of times. It's in their offense. It's like a double handoff, but it's not. It's an inside reverse as opposed to an outside reverse, and that's worked on virtually every team they've tried it on this year. But Souderton's obviously done their scouting, and they know what's going on.
Yeah, they've done a good job. A lot of the other teams just figured they're going to run it to James Scott, and that's what they've keyed on, and that's why all the Colonials have hurt them. They've been focusing on James Scott. They've given it to Craig Quinn and all the rest of the running backs.
Matt Fold.
Matt Fold warming up for some field goals. Hopefully, it'll be an extra point after we get a touchdown, but we'll see how that happens. Kupfer, 3rd and 4. Kupfer rolling right. He has his brother who catches it at the 50-yard line. Stu Kupfer, nice catch, picking up the first down. That's about a 10-yard pass for Kupfer.
Good job, Kupfer to Kupfer connection. Hope to see a lot more this game.
Exactly. As I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the game, Stu Kupfer catches anything in his general area. He's a great set of hands. He doesn't fumble often, and he's probably, besides Paul Kupfer, the other big leader for this team.
Yeah, Stu Kupfer's been a 3-year starter now, and him and Craig Quinn have just done a great job leading this team as Dan Kelly, the other captain. So when you have to pick up those key 3rd down plays, those are the guys you want to go to.
Quick inside handoff to Dan Kelly. Kelly picking up 6 yards. Ball now up to the 44-yard line. Nice play by Dan Kelly. As we said, Kelly going on the inside moves, and there's a Colonial down on the field. Ooh, I try and make out who that is.
Timeout on the field.
I can't quite see who it is.
Neither can I.
Steve Miller. We're not gonna speculate until we know.
We want to know for sure who it is. The training staff running out there very quickly, though. Denise Smith, the head trainer, along with Katie Swakowski and Tim Gordon. And I'm trying to look at the offensive huddle to see who is missing, and I can't really tell. Believe it's number 44, Jeff Brown.
No, Jeff Brown's in there. I see him.
Not him.
I see Jeff Brown. Do we see Steve Miller? I don't see him.
I don't see Steve Miller either. Hopefully it's not him. He's a big offensive lineman for the Colonials. One of CITV's own.
I believe that.
I see Eric Kitai going down to pick up the scoop, see what's going on. So hopefully he can tell us who it is and what's going on.
I believe that is Steve Miller out there. Because that offensive line is Chuck Tornetta, Sean Beard. The other guys on the offensive line, Brian, are
Dugas and Brian Dugas.
Beard.
And Sean Beard, yeah. And Steve Miller, Chuck Tornetta. And I believe that would be Steve Miller, the only one who's not out there with the huddle.
We just hope this not that serious of a situation here. And maybe it's just a cramp. Because they are working with his leg.
Yeah, they are working with his, looks like his right leg.
Maybe.
Right calf area. Stu Kupfer now talking to, I believe that's Coach Slagle, trying to get this offense back into it. And there's a stoppage on the field, 7:34 if you're just joining us. It's 3-6 in favor of the Souderton Indians. They got a touchdown with a missed extra point.
So it was indeed Steve Miller, but he's getting up and he looks to be okay. That's a good sign.
It looks like just a cramp. He's trying to walk it off. Hopefully nothing serious.
It's a scary situation when you see one of those guys down there, Brian, because they're so big and so many things go on inside that inside the grid lines.
And this line has been great so far this way. They've basically been injury-free. A few twisted ankles here and there, but nothing big. Hopefully Steve is okay and can get right back up in this game on the next play. I didn't see who came in to replace him. It came in during the injury timeout. We'll try and get who that is. Paul Kupfer now bringing his team back up the line, trailing by 3, 6-3. Ball goes to James Scott. James Scott pick up 10. Scott picks up about 5 yards, gets the first down. I believe. Looks like he's going to get the first.
I think he got it. And that's what you like to see. James Scott running through in there. A lot of times, James Scott has trouble running between those big guys because he's so small and they're so big. But when James Scott breaks loose, he can just go anywhere he wants.
There you see the training staff working on Steve Miller's right leg, and Eric Kitai now getting in the way of our shot.
Get out of the way, Eric.
He's trying to do his job to get the scoop on what's going on with Steve Miller. Hopefully he'll have a report for us coming up at halftime. Paul Cuffer now has Craig Quinn in motion. Cuffer goes to Dan Kelly, going outside, which is something he doesn't do often, and he gets stopped for a gain of about 1. Nate Overhaul, the quarterback slash linebacker, picked
and the
up.
offensive line coach for the Colonials is not happy at all. That's Coach Smith, I believe, and he's just fuming on the sidelines.
Exactly. Dan Kelly should have been going inside. That's what he does best. Instead, went outside, and
he's got. I mean, you got to be mad at offensive line, but filling in for Miller while he's out. Let me see who that is, Brian. That's
I still haven't seen. I believe it might be Sean Tamaro, but I'm not exactly sure. We'll try and get confirmation on that. Now ball goes to James Scott. Scott finds a hole. James Scott finally gets pulled in. I believe that should have been a holding penalty.
Well, no, he grabbed on. It was on the play, so.
Nice play though by James Scott, picking up about 6.
Can't call holding when he's got the ball. But one thing the Colonials are going to try to do with Miller out on that left side is they're going to try to run the ball to the right side.
58, Sean Tamaro did come in to replace Steve Miller, and he's still in there as Miller's still being worked on.
Tamaro's good, but I mean he's not
he's not as big as Steve Miller. He's a 3 or 4 inches smaller, gives up about 20 pounds.
20 may be a little generous.
At least 20. Tamaro listed at 5'11", 185, whereas Steve Miller is 6'1", 225. So you can do the math yourself. Cuffer now giving the ball back to Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly going inside and taking around to the outside, trying to cut the corner. Dan Kelly does a little spin move, cut back. Dan Kelly getting up to the 13-yard line, maybe even the 10. Nice play by Dan Kelly, picking up about 16 yards.
That's what we like to see. I mean, Dan Kelly got the good block by Jeff Brown and went outside. Then he tried to pull a little Craig Quinn with the cutback, and he got an extra 5 yards with that. So good job by the Colonials picking up the yards. And Brian, last game we saw Dan Kelly against Wissahickon never really got it started. So it's nice to see Kelly get it started again here and show that he still got it.
Yeah, in the last game he was getting those little 2, 3, 5-yard runs. Now he got a nice 16-yard gain right there, which sparks for the Colonials. Ball on the 10-yard line. Handing it off to Craig Quinn. Quinn is going to go for the touchdown. Craig Quinn, 10-yard scamper. That's what this Colonials team can do. They just break it in at any time. Nice run by Craig Quinn for the touchdown.
That's what I like to see. Good blocking by the offensive line. And Craig Quinn, one of the definite leaders of this team. He's definitely got the most heart on this team. Gets in there, not to be denied. Quinn with his first score. The Colonials
going to take the lead again.
Try to get it back on track now, Brian.
Fold for the point after. Jeff Brown will do the holding. Kick is up. And good. Colonials now lead 10 to 6.
6.
On a 10-yard touchdown run by Craig Quinn with 4:44 left to go in the second quarter. And let's take a look at that last 10-yard play by Craig Quinn.
Okay, you'll see him take the handoff from Kupfer and run in with the score. So Quinn doing a good job getting that 10-yard run in there. And Quinn's starting to pick up some yards now. He's got around 30 yards already. And the Colonials are going to have to play defense still because this Souderton team, I'm sure, is not going to give up.
Exactly. They're right in this game. They're only down by 4 points. And there's 4:44 left to go in the first half. Colonials were kicking. There you see Steve Miller.
So he looks like
he's icing his right knee, maybe the right calf. Hopefully Eric Kitai got a little scoop on that. Maybe we can find out at halftime what exactly is the matter with him. Doesn't look too serious. They look to be smiling, but we don't want to speculate again.
Hopefully he'll be able to get back in that game because Steve Miller's a big part of the offensive line.
My guess would be they're going to sit him until halftime and then bring him back in the third quarter. Forward kick coming up to the 15-yard line. Another short kick. Breaking moves. Finally tackled by Timmy Fleming and CJ Sclafani.
Let's go down to Eric. Well, not yet.
Nope.
Eric's got an injury report. We're ready to go down to him.
Whenever he's ready. Let's go to Eric.
Thanks, guys. I just got done talking with Denise, the head trainer for the Colonials. She told me that something it had to do with the knee of Steve Miller. It is probably doubtful he'll be back in the game. I'll keep you posted on what the final diagnosis is.
That's not a good. Thank you very much, Eric. That's not a good sign. He's doubtful the re-end of the game. That's a big loss for the Colonials if Steve can't get back in there. Now back to the Souderton offense. Overhaul back up to the line. Hands it off to Mendez, picking up about 5 or 6.
Mendez is taken down by Craig.
So that's
Nice run by Mendez. Nice tackle by Quinn.
Yeah, but that's such a big blow to the Colonials. One of the big offensive linemen getting out of the game for possibly the game. So, I mean, you definitely want him to be healthy. That's the number one thing. But
You don't want to risk him coming back in and getting a worse injury.
Sean
and being out
Tamara
for the season.
Sean Tamara is going to have to pick this thing up for the Colonials and carry his half of the load.
He's gonna have to play big. 2nd and 4, ball on the 34-yard line. Overhaul, gonna run it himself. Taking the option and not getting the first down, picking up about 3 is Overhaul for his first run of the game.
Matt Kincaid on the tackle.
Kincaid on the tackle. Picking up 3, it's gonna be about 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
First and 10.
And they gave him a first down. I don't like that. And
How
there
you
see
doing?
us here, up in the booth.
See how dressed up I am for this game, Brian?
Yeah, Mandel's wearing a suit and a tie, coming right from services. Coming right from services is Jason Mandel. We'd like to wish our Jewish viewers a happy Yom Kippur. And they gave him the first down in there. I didn't like that spot, but I guess they figured he got the first down.
Chuck Tornetta came out a little banged up. He's trying
Overhaul,
to stretch it.
back to pass. Overhaul, going deep, picked up nicely, and knocked down by Chris Dempsey, I believe that is, making the tackle.
So Souderton does a nice job of seeing Tornetta out of the game. Tornetta's normally big on the pass rush. They get back and get the time over the middle, and that's normally a play the Colonials either deflect or pick off, and they could do neither except let them get a first down.
13-yard pickup for Lynch, the man who scored the touchdown. He is also their big passer. There you see Chuck Tornetta. He's back in the game. That's always a good sign for the Colonials.
Chuck missing the tackle there.
And Colonials just missing tackles all over the place here.
Taken down by CJ.
Colonials defense has got to be picking it up. They're letting this their running backs run all over them.
Yeah, they're not coming out like I expected them to come out. It's almost like they expected a win for Souderton just to give them the win, and Souderton's not ready to do that.
Exactly, Souderton's not just going to roll over and die to this Colonials team.
If Souderton could happen to get the lead before halftime,
There you
it
see
could spell out
Overhaul.
trouble with a capital
Driving
T.
2:40 left to go in the first half. Overhaul, back to pass, being pressured, nice block, and I believe it's complete. Yes, it is complete.
Mac and Kay was rushing Overhaul, but took the block and another reception.
Tucholsky picking up 4 and the first down. Colonials not doing a great job of defending this team.
Now, this is not the Colonials team we're used to seeing.
Exactly. This Colonials defense is not playing up to par. 2:20 left to go in the first half. Overhaul. Hands the ball off to Mendez, who picks up about 1. Ball picking up about 1. His 4th carry of the night. His 15th yard. Colonials doing a great job there of stopping. Time is winding down, though, but they are in scoring position. 2 minutes left to go. Ball on the 31-yard line, about almost at the 30.
So the clock's going to wind down. They're going to try to hold the ball for they don't want to get the Colonials time back if they score. So they're going to try to run the ball a lot, maybe.
Yeah, they're definitely going to probably try and run this clock down. Overhaul now, he's back to pass, just contradicting what Jason says. He's back to pass, and he's caught. Tucholsky picking up 17 more yards. Tucholsky, great catch.
What they're doing is they're doing a little rollout pass, buying some time, and the Colonials are chasing. But like Mike Memorial, the Eagles are just getting there a little bit late.
And the the offensive backs of Mendez and Ball are doing a great job of picking up this defense as they're coming in and trying to get the sacks. Overhaul plays the option, gives it back to Mendez. Mendez tackled nicely by Dempsey and Whitman, I believe. And there's a man down to play. That's Timmy Fleming for the Colonials.
God.
He seems to be wrenching in pain.
Oh,
Another not good sign for the Colonials. They can't afford to lose their linebacker in Timmy Fleming. Another hard hitter for the Colonials.
all right, Brian. This is the left side of the secondary, the right side of the quarterback.
Sclafani.
That's CJ Sclafani. He's not a weakness on this defense. He is one of the leaders in the area in interceptions with 4. So I mean, maybe they see that he's going for those interceptions, and if they can throw over him. But I mean,
that's exactly what they're doing. They're just overthrowing CJ Sclafani, and now with Timmy Fleming down, this is really going to hurt the Colonials.
There is no
Weakness.
weakness on this Colonials defense, Brian. But Souderton seems to be finding one.
Yeah, they seem to be finding any little weakness that they can take advantage of.
That's
what they're doing.
This is an early test now, with it second and 5. Second and 5 on. They will be able to get a first down. There's the coaches,
There you see
and
the
they
coaches,
just like
Coach Cope, Coach Slagle, and I believe that's
befuddled.
Coach Smith.
He just looks like fuddled. What's going on here,
Yeah.
guys?
The rest of the team looking concerned.
And
The team is looking concerned. They hope Timmy Fleming's not too badly hurt. They need him back in this game.
But this is going to be a big part of the game here, Brian. This could be a big test for the Colonials with 2nd and 5. For Souderton with 2nd and 5 on the 6-yard line, they can still get the first down.
And there's a lot of time left too.
Yeah, but if the Colonials defense can, I know there's a lot of time left, but if the Colonials defense can hold them here, maybe that'll help them. If they can hold them to a field goal, I mean, this is not how the Colonials want to look in the first half. And
They've already had two really bad, not really bad as in seriousness, as in really bad as hurting their team. Steve Miller, the offensive lineman, and now Timmy Fleming, who is still down out on the field.
And the way they're playing tonight, Brian, you don't even have to show up for a CB West game or a Downingtown game. Coach Giacovetti concerned about the injuries there, but he's also got to be wondering, what's with my guys? I mean, last time we televised them, Coach Giacovetti got his 100th win. Everybody was happy. It was a blowout. He gave him off the next day. I mean, maybe the practice has been weak and not as strong as he liked them, but we had no indication coming into this game after the game against Methacton last week that the Colonials would come out like this.
And we knew it was going to be a good game, though, Jason. These teams, as we said, are both in their district playoff contention. Souderton, as of last week, was 1 point behind the Colonials in the District 1 standings.
All that means
Third
is
and fourth.
whoever wins this game and wins out will go to the playoffs.
Exactly. Whoever loses this game most likely will not be in the district playoffs. As if you don't know, 4 teams making in. The definites right now are most likely CB West and Downingtown are basically definitely in. There you see Timmy Fleming.
He's
walking off under his own power, but he's limping.
I'm speculating here, but I don't think he'll be back in this game seeing him limp like that.
Exactly. Yeah, he's limping. He's limping more than Miller was, and we heard that Miller might not be back in the game. But Eric Kita is down there getting the scoop once again.
So he's down there. But Denise Harlow, the trainer, tends to be very towards the side of let's get all our players healthy before they can go back in the game.
Yeah, she will hold the player out of the game if she sees the slightest thing wrong with him.
But you can't blame her for that because she's only doing her job, and you want to make sure everybody's healthy. The game's not as important as the health of the player.
Exactly. Now Overhaul back up to the line, ball at the 6-yard line, 2nd and 5. Overhaul gives it to Mendez. Mendez stopped.
Good secondary.
Stopped at the 2-yard line.
Good job by the secondary because he got down past the original part of the offensive line. The secondary's there to stop him. Oh,
Tornetta and James Scott in on the tackle.
A big
BJ Murray as well.
Big couple plays coming up, and Souderton calls timeout to talk it over.
It's a good move calling timeout right there. There is 1:18 left to go. They're on the 2-yard line. And this is big. They see scored 10-6 in favor of the Colonials. Colonials got a touchdown and a field goal. Not in that order. It was the field goal first, then the touchdown. Whereas Souderton got a touchdown and a missed extra point, and that could hurt them later in the game.
Especially if they have to go for a field goal.
Exactly. Yeah, if they have to go for a field goal now, which Colonials could quite force them to.
But you know what? If I see Souderton 3rd and 1 on the 1-yard line, even if they don't get in here, I think they're a team that's going to go for 4-down territory.
I believe that they definitely go for 4-down plays.
Because they see themselves as the underdog, and they got to get all the points they can. Any chance, the best chance they get to get. I mean, this is the best chance they're going to have to score.
Yeah, this is definitely the best chance. There you see
But yeah,
Coach Slagle talking to his defense. You see Steve Whitman, Stu Kupfer.
I forgot to mention that a few inches, they got a first down. A whole new set of downs.
Exactly. It's going to be close. the nose of the ball basically
So they won't
has
even,
to be just off the goal line for them to get a first down.
barring a fumble or a no gain, they won't even have a 4-down situation because it'll be first down.
This crowd getting hype here now, making a lot of noise, trying to mess up the Souderton players. Maybe try and get a false start call. Overhaul brings his team up to the line. 30 inches, ball on the 1. Overhaul, give it to Mendez. He's close. I don't see an official signal yet.
If they don't call by now, he's
I don't
not
think he
in.
got it.
But he probably did get the first down.
Good stop by the Colonials.
Back up by Kupfer.
And
No.
we're going to say 4th down. He got stopped.
4th down. And the Indians call timeout.
Great play by Tornetta and Kupfer to stop that dead in his tracks. And timeout has been called again.
There will be no touchdown this drive, Brian, if the Colonials.
Yeah, if Colonials stopped them there, I don't believe there's going to be a touchdown. And timeout was called by, I believe, Souderton again. Well, no, I'm sorry, they're going to measure this one. And while they're measuring the chains, we're going to go to Eric Kitai, our man on the
See if we can
sidelines.
keep a
Eric?
spot on that, check on that spot.
Eric?
Thanks, guys. Some good news from the sidelines. The doctor just got done looking at Steve Miller's knee, and Steve Miller will be back in the second half. He had a bad twist, but the doctor said that he will be able to come back. Tim Fleming just banged up the side of his leg. He got a big bruise, but he'll fight it, and he will also be back in the second half. That's all for now.
Thank you, Eric. Very good news.
Yeah, that is good news. And even better news is Souderton did not get the first down there. They came up around
In-
6
in-
inches short.
Yeah. So it's going to be 4th and inches, ball on the about the 1 foot line, a minute to go.
An early big play.
Yeah, this is very, very big. They're going to go for it. They're not going to kick the field goal. 4th and inches.
And they can still get a first down.
They could get a first down, or they could score. The ball's on about the 1 foot line, 1 yard line, and they need 6 inches for a first. Overhaul, bring the team up to the line. Big test for the Colonials. They have all their men up on the line. Overhaul to Mendez.
No!
I don't believe he got it.
They stopped them.
The Colonials stop him.
The
But they're
first down he may have got, but I
Yeah, he didn't get the touchdown. He might have gotten the first. I believe they're going to measure it yet again, but we'll see what they say. See what the official, and they're going to give him. They're going to give another measurement. Hopefully, we can get a
sure with
get a
Rob
shot of this
with
one.
Rob Cagna on that camera.
Yeah, we will have a shot of this ball. I
We'll be
believe.
closer to it than the officials will.
There you see the chains right there. Let's see if we can see if they got the first down. And they didn't get it. No first down. Colonials get the ball back. Great play by the Colonials. Chuck Tornetta, Stu Kupfer, and the entire defensive line doing a great job of stopping that. 54 seconds left to go. Colonials have the ball on their own 6-inch line. Gonna be Colonials, I believe. They can't sit on it. It'll be a safety. They've got to do some kind of play. Kupfer can't even kneel down.
Yeah, they're gonna have to just maybe cuff for quarterback sneak just to get him out there.
Yeah, they can't. As I said, they're on the 6-inch line. Kupfer can't kneel, or it'll be a safety. He's got to do some kind of play.
That was such a big stop.
Kupfer, as you say, quarterback sneak, trying to go up and over the line. Picks up about 1.
Brian, you really don't understand at this point of the game how big that play actually was.
That is a huge play for the Colonials. Stopped them from the first down. Stopped it from the touchdown. That is huge.
I mean, hopefully that can awaken this team and let Souderton get the thought out of their head that they can run all over this team.
And with the good news that Steve Miller and Timmy Fleming will both be back in the second half, a lot of good news coming in this last minute of play here.
The sun's starting to come up for the Colonials.
20 seconds left to go in the first half. They'll probably get one more playoff. Kupfer, I believe, can kneel down now. And he's going to just do another quarterback sneak again. And that should run out the clock. 15 seconds left to go now. Kupfer picking up another yard there. If they would, in effect, go for it, it would be 3rd and 8. But time, I believe, will run out on them. And it will. The Colonials are just going to let this time run down. And at the end of one half, the Colonials lead 10-6 over the Souderton Indians. Great first half of play. And with the end of this first half, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have second half action, stats and analysis from the first half. Back here in a few minutes on CITV Sports. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this football game between the Plymouth West Colonials and the Souderton Indians. I'm Brian Roosevelt, joined along with Jason Mandel. We're back for second half action. If you're just joining us, the Colonials are now leading 10-6 after a 10-yard touchdown run by Craig Quinn and a great defensive stop at the end of the second quarter on a 4th and 1 ball on the 1 yard line. Colonials had a great stop. Now for some first half stats. Nate Overhaul passing was 4 for 5 for 92 yards. Those passes, 2 of them going to Tahowski for 27 and 2 of them going to Lynch for 65. Running, Mendez had 6 carries for 38. Ball had 4 carries for 15, and Overhaul had 1 carry for 3 yards. Now let's go to Jason Mandel for the Colonial stats.
For the leading Colonials, quarterback Paul Kupfer's got 1 completion he's got 2 completions for 23 yards. Running Craig Quinn's got 6 rushes for 25 yards and 1 TD. James Scott's got 4 rushes for 32 yards. Dan Kelly's got 4 rushes for 28 yards. Quarterback Paul Kupfer ran the ball once, and he got 2 yards on that. As far as interceptions or sacks, there has been none. Jeff Brown caught a 15-yard pass. Stu Kupfer caught a 7-yard pass, and James Scott caught a 16-yard pass. And don't forget Matt Full with the 27-yard extra point / field goal, counted as a field goal around the distance of an extra point.
The 2 major injuries that happened in the first half, Timmy Fleming and Steve Miller, they're both back up and ready to go in this game. Timmy Fleming walking around like nothing even happened to him.
There you see Steve Miller.
There you see Steve Miller also ready to play again.
That tattoo that Steve had there just makes him look like a mean guy.
And Timmy Fleming, as I was talking, has a wrap around his right calf / knee area. So he looks like he's up and ready to go. So Matt Full to kick off to start the second half, and we're underway. A high, short kick taken at the 17-yard line. Fumble and blocked nicely so he can get a few yards. Running, that was a nice run by number 24, Fretz. Great job. Fumbled it, picked it back up. Great blocking, though, by special teams.
Yeah, good job there by both teams. Souderton to get it out to the 32-yard line after the ball was fumbled. I mean, they're coming to play now, Brian. We're going to have a good second half action.
Exactly.
And I was just talking with the radio guys that do here for Souderton. They're here for doing the game for Souderton area. And they were saying, you guys were surprised, weren't you? You didn't think we were that good. And I was like, you're right, because, you know, you figure Souderton, just another team. Yeah, they're having a good year, but we'll kill them. And they're going to take us down to the wire, it looks like.
Colonials look like they're going to blitz, but they don't. Overhaul hands it off. Mendez.
And there's the run defense I've been looking for. The Colonials. Mendez should not be allowed to scamper free like he did in the first half.
Mendez picks up 2. 2nd and 8. Colonials defense got to get back up and ready and into this game. They didn't have an up to par first half, and they just got to play a lot better now. Overhaul back up to the line. Calls the play, runs the option, hands it off to, that's Mendez again, picking up another yard.
So the Colonials coming out looking strong on the run defense. A lot better than they did on the first half. And here's a 3rd down situation where more than likely Souderton's going to be forced to pass the ball.
It's going to be about 3rd and 8 approximately. And Overhaul so far has been pretty good for passing. He's been 4 for 5 for 92 yards. So very good passing so far.
Overhaul's done a nice job, yeah.
Yeah, they can trust their quarterback. They know what he can do. Overhaul now up to the line. And he's got a play-action pass, and it's incomplete. Ball bounced on the ground. It was intended for ball.
Mack and Kay got real nice pressure on the quarterback there. And that's the type of pressure we were anticipating earlier. Where has it been? Maybe it'll come out now.
You know who else got that pressure? Adam Schaefer. We told you about that switch with Dugas and Schaefer on 3rd down passing plays. Schaefer got some nice pressure on that play there. Back to punt is Ball. Back to receivers, Quinn and Kupfer. The do-everything guys for the Colonials. They punt return. They play offense, defense, special teams. What else can you do? Kupfer takes it at the 30-yard line. Going to take it to the near side of the field. Nice job to hurdle tackler, pushing his way up to the 36-yard line.
He's pushing the tackler and holding the ball at the same time.
Yeah, great play by Kupfer. There you see Stu on your screen. About a 7-yard gain up to the 36, 37-yard line. Nice run by Kupfer. Now his brother Paul brings his team back out onto the field. They're up 10-6.
And Stu gets no rest from going to defense to catching the punt, now back on offense.
Exactly, and eventually that's got to take it. You would think that would take its
Yeah.
toll, but it doesn't. Stu just keeps on fighting. Especially now, the way this game looks like, he's going to be going all 4 quarters. The reserves don't look like they're going to be getting in. It's going to be a close game. There you see Paul Cuffer handing it off to Craig Quinn. Craig Quinn takes up the middle. Craig Quinn up to the 50. Craig Quinn's got one man to beat. Craig Quinn, he could go at the 30, the 10, 25, the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Craig Quinn!
Yeah!
Craig
That's
Quinn!
what we're looking for.
Craig Quinn, 63-yard touchdown run for Craig Quinn. As we said earlier, this class team could break it open at any time, and that's what you just saw. Craig Quinn, 63-yard touchdown run.
That's I was talking, again, one of the Souderton guys I was talking to, and I said to him, you know, you're surprised that we haven't broken one yet. Right there, Craig Quinn gets good blocking, gets to the outside, and then Quinn goes for an initial run to the left, gets all the way back, scores a touchdown at the right side of the field. You know, there are at least 2 cutbacks there by Quinn.
As we said, one of the best cutback moves in the area.
Cutback Quinn, they call him.
Full for the extra point. It's up, and it's good. Colonials now up 17-6. Great play by Craig Quinn.
What a play by Craig Quinn there and the rest of the offensive line.
Let's take a look at that great run by Craig Quinn, 63-yarder.
I'll take you through it, Brian. Handoff, gets a block by Dan Kelly. Quinn gets out, and then it's all Craig Quinn from there. And watch, I think he has no more cutbacks left in him, but Quinn got that big cutback and goes from the left side to the right side.
Great camera work there by Rob Kikagna and Bill Main to get that great instant replay. They don't get recognition as much as they should. Great camera work there. Thank you very much for that one. There you see Paul Kupfer on your screen, along with a bunch of his offensive line.
So, Brian, after this drive, you'll be able to tell if Souderton's here to play for real or not. If they can get something going on this drive, don't count them out, because it's only an 11-point game. A touchdown and a 2-point conversion and a field goal.
Craig Quinn not getting any rest. Craig Quinn now back out on the kickoff coverage.
Ooh.
He does not get any rest here. He's on the near side of the field, right near the sidelines.
That just shows how good Craig Quinn is after that run. That was just an amazing run by Quinn, and hopefully he can spark the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's got to get the momentum going the Colonials' way. They're up 17-6. Fold with the kickoff. Good kick by Fold to the 10-yard line. Picked up, taken out to the 30. Good run back. Ball all the way up to the 33-yard line. Good run back by, I believe that was Brian Tornetta, the freshman.
Getting the tackle.
Making the tackle.
So, this will, again, a big drive for Souderton.
Yeah, Colonials need a big stop here. They can't let anything get going. They've got to stop it right here, right now. See what this Colonials defense and this Souderton offense is made of. Overholt now up to the line. He's got 2 running backs behind him. Overhaul. Calls a snap. Hands it off. Up the middle. Gain of 2 for Mendez.
So
Chuck Tornetta with the tackle.
don't be surprised to see Souderton start going to the air a little bit more, not just on 3rd downs now.
Because he said Overhaul having a pretty good day passing. He's 4 for 6 for 92 yards. I wouldn't be surprised to see him passing it again. Steve Miller seems like he's still walking on that leg, trying to get a little bit of action. He's down the sidelines right now. Hopefully nothing serious. Hopefully he's just trying to get out the cramp. But back to the play. Overhaul. He's going to be back to pass. Overhaul has a man down there being pressured. Way of scrambling. Overhaul is going to not get the first down. He picks up about 6. Good tackle by Chris Dempsey.
Good running by Overhaul, but he knew that he didn't slide for that one. He knew that he was just going to get nailed when he finally was taken down.
And right now we're going to go to our man on the sidelines, Eric Kita, with an update.
The
Eric?
defense has to step up for the Colonials. In order for them to win, the pass rush has to be effective, and also they have to stop the run. On offense, we have to see more of Craig Quinn and James Scott because the running game is the center of the PW's offensive strategy. That's all for now. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Eric, for that commentary. Mark Santor coming in for Brian Dugas on the defensive line, giving Dugas a little bit of a rest. And Overhaul now back up to the lines. 3rd and 2, ball on the 41-yard line.
I'm looking for the rollout.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with the run right up the middle. But it's going to be a rollout, as Jason said. And does he get the pass? No. I believe it's incomplete.
No, they gave it to him.
Oh,
I thought he caught it, but out of bounds.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
what
have the
I
best
thought,
view from that play, but Souderton picks up the 1st down.
I believe that was to Tahowski. Looked like it was incomplete to us up here in the booth. But he picked up about 4 yards. Nice play by Tahowski to pick up that first down. Overall, having a pretty good day passing. I've gave you his numbers over and over again. But now, back to live action. Overhaul going to hand it off to Mendez, losing a yard.
And it just looks like night and day between the first half of with the run defense and second half in this run defense. Somebody must have said something to these guys because they are certainly tightening up those holes.
And you know what? I'm sure that Craig Quinn sparked them. They know they have a lead. They've got to keep it now. Loss of a yard there. It's going to be 2nd and 11. Ball on the 44-yard line. And this crowd, which wasn't big to begin with, looks like it's starting to pack up now. It's a Saturday night. People starting to come out to the football game.
A lot of the guys are starting to sit down and get in because this latter half of the season, if we win this game, could take us anywhere.
Play action pass to Overhaul. Fires completed. Nice lane. Nice catch by, I believe that's Lynch at the 44-yard line.
That was a nice throw and a really nice catch by 81.
81 is Lynch.
Lynch did a good job picking up these first downs. So Souderton continues to drive, Brian. I said if the Colonials going to pack up on the offense and tighten up those on the offensive run, then the defense is then the play is going to be susceptible to the pass.
Overhaul now has 107 yards passing for the day. So he's over 100. Great day so far for Overhaul. The game's not even close to being over yet. Souderton now getting ready to snap. Handoff stopped. Chuck Tornetta. Big hit. 4-yard loss for Lynch. I'm sorry, for Mendez.
Chuck just pounded that guy. He didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage to Tornetta.
I heard that hit all the way up here. That was a crushing hit by Tornetta.
And a big third down play, as I guess they didn't get. Oh,
there you see Chuck on your screen.
A big.
Chuck
that
Tornetta.
was 4th down, I guess, Brian.
Yeah.
I thought they had the first down, but maybe not on the play before. So
yeah,
we didn't realize how big that play was.
There must have been a fumble on that play, Jason.
No, it wasn't. It was.
I thought they had the first down on that pass play.
Before, but maybe it was just short.
Now Jeff Brown, Craig Quinn lining up to the near side. Cuffer, back to pass. He's high, a little bit high there.
A little bit ahead of Quinn.
Yeah, it looked like it was either going to Quinn or Cuffer. It was right in the middle of both of them.
So
Nothing Cuffer could do about that one.
Unable to pick up the first down. And the Colonials, if they can capitalize and get a touchdown here,
they've got good field position. They're on the 47-yard line.
Could start digging the grave for Souderton.
There you see Stu Cuffer, Craig Quinn, Chuck Tonetta, and a lot of the offensive leaders there for the Colonials in the huddle. As now they come up to the line. Cuffer's got 3 running backs in the backfield. Now they're doing a little switching around. Jeff Brown going into the slot in the left. Craig Quinn down to the right. Hands it off to James Scott, who's going to take it around the right end. And James Scott evades tackler. Is going to go try and come back the other way. James Scott gets wrapped up and thrown down.
Tried to be a
10-yard loss for 12-yard loss for James Scott.
Yeah, it tried a little Barry Sanders type play there. You'll see Barry Sanders do that, trying to come back, and sometimes he'll lose yards, and other times he'll go for a touchdown. So it's definitely all right for James Scott to try to do that because he's definitely capable of breaking it. And but 3rd and 22, I would either Kupfer or pass to Kupfer, even a run.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Colonials go to the air here. Ball on their own 32-yard line. 37-yard line. 3rd and 22. Looks like they're setting up for a run, though, but we'll see what Colonials do. There you see Paul Kupfer on your screen. Kupfer hands it off to James Scott, giving it right back to him.
That's all right. You see the possibility of Scott breaking one there. It's a passing situation. And now you can punt the ball and really pin them in back in their own zone.
I still don't see why the Colonials didn't just try and go for a deep one there. You see James Scott there.
There's
who lost 12, then gained 6 right back in a row.
I think Coach Jock's decision-making was here. Let's be conservative here. We are up by 11. Let's try to pin them in there and play defense. Souderton looks like really to be setting up the return here with one guy getting back to block and 2 returning.
Stu Kupfer for the low snap, picks it up. Nice high punt for Stu Kupfer. Ball lands at the 20-yard line, 21-yard line. Adam Schaefer makes a nice stop, losing 3 yards. Great hit by Schaefer.
So good job by Adam Schaefer there getting the tackle, not letting him out of his hands.
Man down on the field for Souderton. Trying to make out that number there. bunch of people around them, huddling around, so we couldn't get the number. But it was who picked up. It was the guy who returned the ball. Already had 2 injuries, 2 to the Colonials. This is the first one to Souderton so far. And I believe that's Nate Overhaul, the quarterback.
Ooh,
I'm getting
hopefully
word.
he's all right. Hate to see any injuries here, but
Yeah.
he looks like he's okay.
Looks to be walking off on his own
But
power.
he may have to come out for at least one play.
Yeah.
I think he definitely does.
And we'll see what happens. Looks like he's still going to be in there.
From us?
And Overhaul is now out of the game. He had to be taken out due to the injury. And we're trying to find out who the replacement quarterback is. I believe that's number 1, I believe it is, or number 4, Jeff Childs is into the game. Number 4, yeah, we got confirmation. It's number 4, Jeff Childs is the new quarterback.
So
Handoff.
Childs just ran the play. And of course it was a running play because they want to get Overhaul back in there as soon as possible.
And Ball got that for no gain.
And Overhaul does. Well, no, he does.
Overhaul
Not coming back in yet. So
still not in. Loss of 2.
So this quarterback's a sophomore here. Expects Souderton to do a lot of running.
Yeah. Not a lot of experience, I'm guessing. So we'll see what happens.
Only in JV games, and we all know those aren't nowhere near the same.
Childs back to pass, and he got pressured and throws it out of bounds.
Welcome
Throws
to
it to-
varsity football.
And the Colonials got a man down on the field again. It looks like B.J. Murray down at the 5-yard line. Another injury to the Colonials. Training staff again quickly out there. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't B.J. Murray, that was Chuck Tornetta.
Tornado, but Chuck gets up and hustles off
Looks like he was holding his right side.
his ribs.
Hopefully nothing big to Chuck Tornetta. Colonials can't afford another loss on an injury here. But the good sign was just, and he got up and ran off under his own power.
Yeah.
Didn't walk or stumble. He ran off under
Chuck's
his
a
own
big
power.
guy. It's going to take a lot to hurt him.
Yeah. Child still in the game.
3rd and 12.
3rd and 12. Ball on the 15, 16. Childs. Now back to pass. Flag on the play.
Look for the
Childs
holding.
throws it out of bounds. Way high and out of bounds. Great coverage by Chris Dempsey, but there is a flag on the play.
Maybe a holding. If so, the Colonials will decline that. And it looks like that's what it was because Quinn's starting to walk back to
It's
return
against
the kick.
I believe that's a legal procedure against
If that's
against
before the
Souderton
snap,
Indians.
if it's before the snap, they may get another shot at it.
Have a legal motion on the offense. Penalty decline.
4th
4th down.
down. Colonials
was-
decline that one. And I believe smart play here would be the punt.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them bring in their punt. Oh, yeah, now there's Ball, the punter. Ball will do the kicking as Cuffer and Quinn back to receive once again.
Ooh.
Almost blocked, but nice high punt. Goes out of bounds. Ball's out of bounds at the 40. Ooh, great position. Sorry, at the ball at the 37-yard line. Great field position.
So the Colonials getting the ball back now.
Cuffer now bringing his team back on the field, but Chuck Tornetta is still out on the sideline. Colonials, I believe, running number 71, Matt Ramey. So he
Chuck
plays
looks
Chuck.
like he's just catching his breath.
Yeah, Chuck needs a breather. He's been playing both ways here. I believe it was Matt Ramey, though. He went in. Jeff Brown now split wide to the right. James Scott in motion, but the handoff goes to Dan Kelly, picking up 1 yard. And Colonials will have 2nd and 9, ball on the 35. Great field position. There you see the Colonials offensive huddle. with Cupfer, Quinn, and Kelly, the three captains to the right of your screen. All three having a big game so far.
Yeah, they've all done an instrumental part in this lead so far. But the Colonials need another score.
Cupfer now with the ball at the 35-yard line. Jeff Brown split to your right. James Scott up high to the left. Craig Quinn hands off to James Scott. James Scott going to take it to the 25, 20. James Scott 10, 5. Brought down by from behind at the 6-yard line. Great run by James Scott. I thought he was going to break it.
You see the breakaway speed there by Scott. Getting a very nice run.
Great
Picks up-
camera work again by Eric Ketai, being
picks up
right
about
up in the face of James Scott.
28 yards there on the carry. And James Scott would have gotten the end zone if it was not for the pull behind the back.
You know what that play was, Jason? That was that reverse handoff, the
Yeah, the
inside
double
reverse handoff.
handoff.
It went from Paul Cupfer to Craig Quinn to James Scott, and that play has been working all year for the
You
Colonials.
got good blocking by the offensive line and also tight end Stu Kupfer.
I believe Chuck Tornetta is still out on the sideline, though, but Colonials doing a good job of blocking.
Now,
Besides the fact, first and goal, ball on the 7. Cupfer hands it off to Craig Quinn. Craig Quinn gonna be stopped.
Brian, this in fact
Line
could
of
be the
scrimmage.
biggest drive of the game for the Colonials because a field goal means they're only up 14. That's 2 touchdowns. A touchdown means they're up 18.
And that is a big difference in this football game.
That's 3 scores.
Craig Quinn now taking a little breather coming out of the game. Steve Whitman coming in to replace Craig. Whitman, the back running back with great speed. As Whitman is the backup, as I just said. But I hear he's almost as fast as James Scott. I hear he tied him in the 40-yard dash.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
I was hearing that from Chuck Tornetta. Was telling me that he tied him in the 40-yard dash. Ball goes now to James Scott. James Scott at the 5. James Scott being stopped at the 2-yard line.
Chuck also told me that he had a 6-minute mile, so.
Craig Quinn now being looked at by the doctor. Hopefully nothing
Oh, God.
serious.
And Craig did have that problem.
Yeah, the rib problem.
Well, he had a herniated disc in his neck before the year started, and that he had recuperated from that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the neck and the back thing.
Yeah,
Thank
it's-
God, but
right now the doctor and the trainer Denise are looking at him. Hopefully it's nothing, but I'm always
it's probably something, but it's
Oh.
hopefully it's nothing too serious.
always taking the precautions. Now back to live action. Paul Cuffer bringing his team back up to the field. Cuffer hands it off to Dan Kelly,
and he
picking up
doesn't get
1.
in.
So it's
And
gonna
it'll be around
Will be now
fourth
fourth and
down.
1. 4th and goal, ball on the 1. Colonials need a
Here
score.
is they're going to go for it, and this is a key situation for the Colonials.
This is a
really
big
big play.
4th and 1
Souderton, I
on the
think, will
1.
call timeout.
Colonials call a timeout.
So the situation is 4th down around the 1-yard line. The Colonials get in, and the extra point, they would be up 18. They don't get in, they'd only be up 11. So I think the situation would be here to go for the
There you see Stu Cupfer and Dan
touchdown.
Kelly on your screen.
But Craig
Quinn's still out, being
Still
looked
out.
at by the doctor, but Chuck Tornetta is back in, which is good for the Colonials. Maybe we can get a shot of Craig Quinn, see what they're looking at on him.
it
He's on
looks
the-
like his right,
Yeah, it looks
right
like his
rib.
right ribs.
So
He's sitting on the far right side of the bench, being looked at by the trainer, Denise.
and we've seen Eric Ketai may not have a report for a little while. She's taking over the camera helm.
Craig Quinn now back up and walking around. That's always a good sign.
If I know Craig, he's a gamer. He'll be back in there.
There you see Craig Quinn on your screen. Still seems to be holding his back a little bit, back in his ribs. Hopefully nothing serious, but now we're back to live
And
action.
This could be a huge
Big
play,
for the
Colonials.
Colonials. Paul Cuffer bringing his team up to the line. Cuffer hands it off to James Scott, who's up and in.
Oh,
Touchdown,
yeah.
James Scott up and over the line.
James Scott gets up. May not have got over on the first and rolled down into that end zone. What a sweet play. One of those cheerleaders should be signed up.
God, one of those footballs almost hit us right in the head.
Got a better arm than Paul. That got up to the
Hit the press box.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that ball was coming in here.
I wasn't ready for that one. But the extra point, more importantly, will make it an 18-point game and 3 scores with only a minute 59 left in the third quarter.
Forward's kick is up. Bang good.
So a great play there by James Scott and the rest of the offensive line. So James Scott does run track, and maybe one of those things he does is the jump.
A high jump.
High jump, maybe.
He got high on that
He got
one.
up there.
He might, as you noted earlier, Justin, he might not have gotten over on his first shot, but with his second effort, he did get in there.
Good job there.
It doesn't matter how he gets in, just as long as he gets in.
So now the Colonials really open it up here. So, I
Matt
mean, as
Bull
close
back
as
out
this
to kick.
game was in the first half, it's out to an 18-point game now. So
But still,
Souderton,
it's not
yeah,
over,
it's
though.
definitely not over yet, Brian.
Still a full quarter and 2 minutes left in this quarter to go.
I'm sure in a few of Souderton's wins, came by comeback fashion. So
So, Matt Fold setting up the kick. Two players back deep for Souderton. Colonials now out to an 18-point lead, and that is huge in this game so far. Nice high kick for Fold. Ball taken at the 11-yard line. Up past the 20, 25. Colonials is doing a not that great job on special teams. Big run backs almost every single time.
okay, as we look, Craig Quinn's still on the sidelines, getting taped up though, so it looks like he probably should be back in the game.
Yeah, he's getting taped all over the place, starting down at his thigh,
Low.
going up to his ribs. Not taking any precautions on this one. Replacing Craig Quinn, I believe, would be Mike Cho. But I'm not yeah, it is Mike Cho replacing Craig Quinn at the linebacker spot. And Overholt is back in. He's back to pass deep, and he's way overthrowing everybody.
Oh.
The closest player for Souderton was Fretz, who was a good 15 yards away from that ball.
Overall had a nice pass there if you just gave his receiver some time to get down there. So the Colonials trying to hold him here again. Now Brian Tornetto on defense comes on in.
Coming in, played defensive back, I believe, for James Scott, taking a little breather. James Scott looks like he's limping a little bit.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of injuries here for the Colonials tonight.
You got to get these guys healthy for the end of that season, and more importantly, possible playoffs.
Overhaul, back to pass again. Got pressure. Matt Kincaid applying the pressure, but pass is complete anyway for the first down. And a little bit more, 14-yard gain.
So, Brian, you have to look at Souderton's position here. They find themselves down 18 points at a game they were once in, and they find themselves having a 5-1 record and needing this game to get into to have a chance to make the playoffs. They don't want to give up this whole season on this last fourth quarter here and just sit down and die. They're not going to go out without a fight.
Exactly. Craig Quinn now back in the ballgame. James Scott still out, though, I believe. And he seems to be stretching out his right leg. Again, hopefully nothing serious. We've said that a lot tonight for the Colonials. Overhaul now back in the pass. He's rolling back. He's throwing deep again.
Oh.
Wide open. This is going to be a touchdown.
I'd like to apologize to Mrs. T before we say anything, but that was Brian Tornetto getting
Brian Tornetto
beat.
getting burnt. That just
looks
shows
like
his
he-
inexperience.
It looks like he didn't have to play right.
56-yard touchdown play.
So
That's
just
a great
like
play.
that, with a 2-point conversion, if they go for it, they'll find themselves down 10. I'm sure they will go for the 2-point conversion here.
I believe. And the point after, or will they go for two?
They've
We're
got to
waiting
go for
see.
two here. Touchdown and a field goal.
This is a big play. 56-yard touchdown play from Overholt to, I believe that was
Number 6, Brian.
number 6, Tahowski, the tight end.
He's caught a lot of passes. His stats on the year are after the kick. Surprise they're going for.
And it's up.
Well, he went for the
Thank
kick.
good.
And you'll see on the replay that we have here, Tahowski's got 336 yards, averaging 20 yards a catch, and make it 5 touchdowns now. But
Yeah,
the
nice play
replay's
by
coming up.
Tahowski. Here comes the replay. I'll take you through this one. There's the Overholt back. Way deep pass, and Brian Tornetto was just way out of position, not playing Overholt the way he should be, and he just scampers in for the touchdown, 56 yards.
So Souderton, good coaching there by Souderton, saying, look, James Scott's out of the game. Let's try to pick on the young guy.
And that's what they did, and Tornetto was caught way out of position.
Tornetto only a freshman.
Yeah, he's only a freshman. I was just going to say that he's got a lot of time here with the Colonials. Got 3 more years. He's also a quarterback. He's a third-string quarterback. But he can't get his
So-
spirits down. Everyone's around him trying, saying, let's go, Bride, nothing big.
So once
Don't
again,
worry about it.
but I'm sure much of the Colonial fans felt like this game was going to be theirs. It's going to be a game now for the fourth quarter and should make things a heck of a lot more interesting.
Craig Quinn is back deep for the Colonials.
And if they had held the 18-point lead, maybe Scott and Quinn wouldn't have had to come back in the game. And
now Scott
they
and
would've
Quinn are
got the
both
rest.
back in.
Yeah.
They're both playing a little bit sore. Looks like James Scott was clinching his right leg a little bit earlier. Craig Quinn with his ribs acting up again. They've got a lot of injuries. They got Quinn, James Scott, Chuck Tornetta, Steve Miller, and Timmy Fleming, all 5 being injured. All 5 back in there, though. And it's a good thing they have been. Low kick. Quinn picks it up at the 15-yard line. Quinn at the 25, the 30. Craig Quinn cutting back. Quinn has the hole. Quinn gets tackled at the 44-yard line. Nice play by Craig Quinn, a 29-29-yard kickoff return.
At least 29, because he got down almost to the 43-yard line, 44-yard line. Quinn uses cutbacks even in that play there. So good job by the Colonials, and they're all back in the game, as we said. Steve Miller's in there. Quinn, Scott, Fleming will be on our defense.
Fleming was back on defense.
So I look for the Colonials to run the ball.
Jeff Brown in the slot high. Craig Quinn down low to receive. He's got 2 backs behind him, and Kelly. And Scott gives the ball to Dan Kelly, who uses his power to pick up. Ooh, just breaks tackles. I thought he was going to be stopped.
Uses his power
Picked
is
up
the
8.
right word.
I thought he was going to get stopped. I was going to say using his power to pick up about 1. Ends up second effort picking up about a total of 8 yards. Great play by Dan Kelly.
Shows the power there of Dan Kelly. He compares to a guy from CB West, Dave Armstrong. If Dave Armstrong is the focus point on their offense, Dan Kelly, luckily the Colonials have other guys that they don't have to rely on just one guy. But it's so nice to have a guy like that you can just battle your way in there.
Paul Cuffer bringing his team up to the line. He's got Craig Quinn down deep again, down low again to the bottom of your screen. Jeff Brown up to the top. James Scott in motion. Handoff goes to Kelly
Fumble.
again. Fumble.
Paul Cuffer picked that one up.
Cuffer barely picked that one up.
Things
There you
could
see
have got
Paul Cuffer.
a little more interesting if Cuffer wouldn't have got that, but luckily he does. And that is the end of the third quarter.
Third quarter score 24-13. Colonials up. If you're just joining us, you're going to be in for a great fourth quarter of action. You said 24-13 Colonials. Colonials on their own 47-yard line. And they came out really quick, really heavy in the third quarter. Kind of lagging off towards the end of that third quarter there, Jace.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't want to let whatchamacallit get in there. They didn't want to let them get a big passing play like that. They wanted to play tight defense. But unfortunately, they got the touchdown. The Colonials are going to have to try to score a couple more times and finish Souderton off.
Yeah, Colonials got to keep Souderton out of the end zone, and if they can, get themselves one more score. That would be big.
At least one more score.
At least one more.
Souderton scores.
Ball at the 47-yard line, as I said. Cupfer now getting the signs from his coach. I believe that's Coach Slagle and Culp giving the signs in. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for the Colonials.
And as the end of the third quarter, those guys from Souderton just looked over at me, indicating that there still is a game here.
That looks like somebody's lined up in the neutral zone. I would have thrown a flag on that one if I was the ref. Cupfer throwing to his brother.
No, Jeff Brown.
It's Jeff Brown.
Good hands,
Jeff Brown.
Jeff Brown. Such
Great
a
hands
big
by
play
Jeff
there.
Brown.
Good
Nice
job
play
by
by
Colonials
Paul
on picking
Cupfer.
up that first down.
I believe that was Ham. I heard somebody say the name. Tony Ham. I don't believe he's related to the former basketball player Carleaf Ham.
Ham played for Texas A&M.
No,
right.
Carleaf Ham played for Souderton
Did
Indians 2 years ago. Basketball player. Handing off to Craig Quinn around the left side. Craig Quinn using that cutback move to pick up 6.
So Quinn looks to be okay, at least for the time being.
Yeah, for the time being at least. As we're underway in the fourth quarter. Colonials are and always have been a fourth quarter team though, Jason. They always seem to step it up in the fourth.
Yep. But I mean, They've only had to really play the fourth quarter around once this year, and
This is it.
That time, well, it's the second
Hatboro.
time Hatboro, and the first time they lost. So the only really close game they've had was Hatboro, and they came up on the short end. So we'll see here.
Paul Cuffer bringing his team up to the line.
But Souderton's got to
Brown.
stop the first downs.
Jeff Brown going wide left. He's got Craig Quinn up to his right. Hands it off to Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly picks up
2.
maybe 2.
So
There you
no
see
doubt
Dan.
about it. This will be a big third down play here because if you're almost, I think you're in 4-down territory on the
Yeah,
32-yard
I really
line.
think you are. It's gonna be it's gonna be a little too long for the field goal.
So the Colonials shouldn't hesitate to run the ball here.
It's gonna be 3rd and 2. Ball on the 32. And Eric Ketai now down on the sidelines off of his camera duty, trying to pick up some more stories here for the end of the game.
All right, Kitai's going both ways for us
Yeah,
tonight.
honestly, Eric Ketai's the utility man tonight, doing camera. He's got to be cold wearing those shorts.
One thing is our Kitai just
Ball goes to Craig Quinn, and he's
stopped.
not going to get it. He's stopped.
Craig Quinn or Eric Kitai's in violation of the press code. He's inside that white line of the team box.
But we won't mention that. I don't even believe Craig got a yard. Yeah, Craig did get a yard. 4th and 1.
So
Colonials are going to go for it, though. Big 4th down play for Souderton. They need to stop if they want to win this game.
and the official calls timeout.
Maybe they're going to measure?
They're going to measure,
They're
but
gonna
I think it's just for a spot.
Yeah.
So, because Craig Quinn's or Paul Kupfer's probably asking how much, because he has a right to know how much he needs to get. A 4th down play. I mean, I don't think there's any chance of Matt Fold kicking a field goal
Yeah.
from this far out.
David Dietz running at the chains.
He's in mid-season form.
And there you see the ball. Great camera work there.
And
They have
that's
at
a good
least
yard
a yard and a half. Great camera work. Rob Kakagna.
That's a long way. If they were thinking of the QB sneak, they better stop thinking about it
Yeah.
because he's not getting that far in the QB sneak.
Cuffer now getting the readjusted play from Coach Slagle. They have the official spot, a yard and a half for the first
I'm
down.
looking for him to give it to Craig Quinn here. When you need a yard like that, I think he's the guy you want to give it to. He will not quit at any time. Not to say any of the Colonials will, but I think Craig Quinn's your best option.
We'll see what happens. They have 3 running backs in the backfield, no receivers. Paul Cuffer to snap to Dan Kelly, who gets the first down, I believe.
I don't know.
It's
I
going to
do
be
not
close.
know.
gonna
I didn't
be-
think he got it,
It's
Brian.
going to be close. They're going to have
the
to
far
measure again.
spot.
I believe he got it. Depends on the spot. We'll see what happens.
It looked like he got off the line of scrimmage okay, but then he was just stopped. There's no way he got that, Brian.
I think it's going to be
It
close.
was a
I think
bad spot.
bad spot. I think he.
Brian, you don't even have to measure.
We'll see about that spot, though. Another time of the chains coming out. Let's see what they give him.
There's no way he got this, Brian.
It's going to be close.
No.
Kelly, ooh. Oh, that's so close.
Souderton has
Misses
stopped
it
him.
by a chain link.
Oh,
He
Brian.
missed that by a chain link
Good camera work there by Rob Cagna.
again.
But
A chain link he missed that one by.
Dan Kelly unable to come up with it. I mean, I don't. Coach Iacovetti is furious at the ref, saying, "Give us the spot for God's sakes already." What do we have to do? Put it on the goal line? That's what they should have done. But
9:30 left to go in this fourth quarter. Colonials up 24-13. 1st and 10 for Souderton Indians. Ball at the 26-yard line. Overhaul brings his team up to the line. There you see Nate Overhaul on your screen. Overhaul. He's back to pass. Overhaul. Ooh. Picked off. Oh. Almost picked off by Chris Dempsey and then CJ Sclafani.
you can't fault Chris Dempsey because the speed was misdirected by the tip, but it almost looked like Chris Dempsey was running before he actually had the pass.
It didn't look like
Interception.
Sclafani was going to get it, though, after the tip by Dempsey.
But
Looked
in
like
any
one of them
case,
was going to get it.
Souderton would have connected there. Would have been a huge gain.
Yeah. Colonials would have got there. Would have been a huge play.
If Souderton gets a score here, Brian, it's scary to think what can happen then. The defense has got to step it up.
2nd and 10. Overhaul.
Surprised Souderton went to the pass.
Very
so quick.
surprised on first down. Now Overhaul going to go to the run again. And he's stopped by Chuck Tornetta. Stu Kupfer, and a
So-
slew of other Colonials. There you see Chuck Tornetta. Looks to be, never mind, just fixing his helmet. Thought something was the matter, but he's not. Fixing some padding in his helmet is
Third
Chuck.
and 12. I think we're Souderton's even a 4-down time-wise situation. Down 11 with only 9 minutes to play. But we'll have to see.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Chuck Tornetta got the official for the timeout. Fixing some pads in his helmet. Finally gets it back together, and he's back in the huddle. Clock is now being started with 9 minutes to go in the game. Colonials up by 11. No matter what, Souderton needs 2 scores. Maybe 3, depending on what they do.
No, 2 either way. Well,
Not if they get a touchdown
well.
and a field goal, then they need 3. That would only be 10.
they're not going to go for a field goal.
Overhaul with the, that's it. Is that going to be a fumble? Yes, it is. Ball goes out of bounds.
You know, now's not the time for trick plays probably when
Yes.
you need a 39. You got to go with what you know is going to work, and that just had an awful lot of question marks in it. Souderton's going to be forced to punt.
That's a really, really dumb play. You hate to say it, but that was just a dumb play. Jason said, you're down by 11. You don't go for the trick plays here. You go with what you know is going to work. You go with the short pass or with the run. Ball, low snap. Ooh, Chris Dempsey and Steve Whitman almost get there. Kupfer calls for the fair catch. Ball at the 46-yard line.
So the Colonials do a good job on defense and have the ball on their own on the Souderton 45-yard line in the driver's seat right now.
8:26 left to go in the game. I'm Brian Roosevelt, joined along with Jason Mandel. 24-13, Colonials over the Indians. But still, a lot of time to go. Colonials with the ball. They're on the Souderton 46-yard line.
A long drive capped off by a score is what you need here, Brian.
Yeah, they need to take a lot of time off that clock. Kupfer to Craig Quinn. Quinn's going to try and come back the other way. Gets tripped up for a 2-yard loss.
You know, it's all right. I just don't want to see Paul passing the ball, not because he's going to intercept or whatever. Just an incomplete pass stops the clock, and you want to keep the clock moving.
2-yard loss for Craig Quinn. 2nd and 12. Ball on the 48-yard line. Colonials got to get some positive yards here. They got to keep this clock running. Ball time now under 8 minutes to go. Kupfer back up to the line. He's got no receivers. He's got the closest receiver is James Scott down the near part of your screen, but he hands it off to James Scott. Was that double reverse? James Scott going to go for the first down. James Scott cutting back. James Scott's got 1 man the beat. Good move by James Scott. Oh, tackle from behind. That's a 26-yard gain for James Scott.
And great blocking by Paul Kupfer, the quarterback there. Kupfer does a nice job of leading Scott towards that first down and then the extra yardage. That's what you need, Brian.
Great play by Scott, Kupfer, and the entire offensive line. If it wasn't for them, these runners would be going nowhere.
And Paul Kupfer, not only just Stu, but Paul also.
7:30 left to go in the game. Time slowly winding down. If the Colonials can get a score here, that would be deadly for Souderton. Paul Kupfer got men moving around. He's got Jeff Brown now wide left with James Scott also.
Say
Craig Quinn in motion. Ball going to Dan Kelly up the middle. Dan Kelly picking up 2 yards and then stopped.
So
Maybe 3.
in this situation, Brian, it looks like with Souderton's last touchdown, they probably should have went for 2. That would have cut it to a 10-point game. And then anything could have happened after its PW touchdown. But now it's like a touchdown. That's 17 already, and that's 3 scores with no time left. So bottom line, if PW gets more than 3 points in this possession, you can say goodnight.
As time is still running, Colonials taking a lot of time in between each play. Scott in motion. Handoff goes to James Scott. Scott almost gets in. James Scott gets into the touchdown. James Scott, 16-yard scamper, and he gets in.
More than a little scamper there, Brian. That was a great run, breaking tackles. Doing it all there was James Scott.
Great run for Scott. 16-yard touchdown. That basically is the nail in the coffin.
And the parking lot will begin to get a little bit more crowded now.
And the stands a little bit less crowded.
So, I mean, I don't think Souderton's going to give up here, but certainly not what they wanted.
Forward up for the extra point, and it's good. 31 to 13, 18-point lead again for the Colonials. And that's what you want to see. James Scott, nice touchdown run there. I wasn't even expecting that. And let's go to an instant replay of that last touchdown run by James Scott. James Scott going around the right end, scampering through, and breaking tackles left and right and getting in for the touchdown. And now we're going to go down to Eric Kita with an interview on the sidelines. Eric?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with sophomore running back John DiPolito. John, how do you feel your chances are next year of becoming the starting running back here?
I think they're pretty good, but there's a lot of people that might not play this year, but they might play next year, so they could interfere with some chances, plus some freshmen. There's a lot of competition, but I feel pretty good. I'll get a lot of playing time.
What do you think your strong points are in your running game this year?
This year, I'm not getting in this game, so I'm not really a big part of the game this year. But next year, it's definitely going to be offensive line. It's going to be really important. It's important to every back. The offensive line is always important, but I think my weak points are I'm not very big. I have to get a lot bigger. And I don't have much power, but I want to work on speed, and I have to be real quick.
Thanks for the little biography there on John DiPolito, but we still do have a game going on here, and Matt followed a poor kick, and Souderton is going to get the ball on the 43-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to get good field position, but as we said earlier, time still winding down, 6:28 to go in the game, 31-13 Colonials. As John DiPolito said himself, he doesn't think he's going to be getting a lot of playing time this game because there's still a game in progress here. There's still anything could happen. Overhaul now back up to the line. His line is set. Overhaul. He's back to pass on first down. Being pressured. Gets it off and complete to number 81, Lynch, who picks up 16 yards. C.J. Sclafani with the tackle.
So Souderton's going to try to get a quick score and then a couple onside kicks.
And you know what no one's talking about tonight, Jason? How good Overhaul is playing. Overhaul is 6 for 9, 179 yards passing. Great game for
really
Nate Overhaul.
impressive. He's not going down without a fight.
Exactly. Big
Something like
festivities. Overhaul back to pass, being pressured again. Tornado almost gets to him, and Steve Whitman with a good job of defending. Good hit there by Timmy Fleming on number 87, Bauer. His first catch of the game for 6 yards.
So this will bring up a third and around 4.
About third and 3, third and 4. 5:45 left to go in the game. Time is slowly running out for Souderton.
Quickly, not slowly.
Not a lot more they can do.
Well, they can try to score here.
Third and 3. Overhaul's line is set. Overhaul. Back to pass. Play action almost sacked. An incomplete pass. Great defense by Timmy Fleming and
Chuck Tornado wanted the face
Sclafani.
mask there, but he didn't get it. And Overhaul did a nice job of just getting that ball away.
Whitman, good job of defending as well. It's going to be 4th and 3, and they have to go for this.
Oh, well, that's given, Brian.
We really need to stop here on 4th and 3, ball on the 36-yard line. Overhaul brings his team up the line. Big 4th down play again. Overhaul. He's back to pass. Being pressured. And Souderton is going to get the first down. And more. Lynch is going to get in almost for the score. I thought he was going to get in there.
We got a little rumble going on here.
Fight on the field.
Flags flying.
Chuck Tornetta, Chris Dempsey. A lot
This
of
is not
Colonials
what
involved.
you need now.
Coach Young
Whoever's involved in
not
that
going to
should
be
be-
happy.
Whoever's involved should be thrown out of the game. No questions asked. There's no need for a fight at this point of the game.
We'll see what the official call is. They're in there trying to sort it out.
I mean, the flags will just be offsetting and just get whoever was involved in that fight, just get them out of the game.
Within that fight, there was a 33-yard gain from Lynch there.
Nice little screen pass as the Souderton gave up the rush.
And Lynch is now over 21 yards rushing for the passing for the game. And you know what? Overhaul's over 200. With that 33 yards, it takes him over 200.
I want to see what the call is here, and the officials, you'll hear it.
Got dead ball, personal foul, Plymouth white mark, half the distance to goal.
I'd like to hear what number that was on.
Yeah,
I believe it's going to be on Chuck Tornetta.
and
And the fans not happy. You can probably hear the booing from the microphones
see if
here.
we can get a shot at Chuck, see if
I
coaches
believe
are-
Chuck's out of the game because he's sitting on the sidelines
well,
right now.
they took him out. It's a smart play to take him out of the game, calm him down. You know what, but I think that was both ways.
He might be done for the game, though.
If it was him involved in the fight, then he should be done for the game. Because when you're up 18 and you shouldn't be starting a fight, I'm sure Chuck was complaining on the last play that he was getting held with a face mask. And he was probably getting real frustrated.
His brother now over there talking to him, but we have a game going on. Overhaul, ball on the 1 yard line. And I believe that's Overhaul taking it in by himself. Overhaul gets the touchdown. And would you go for 2 here, Jason, or would you go for that extra point?
Let's see, they're down. They're down 12. I think you go for 2-point conversion here to get it to 10. Either way, I mean they're gonna need. Doesn't hurt to go for 2 here.
It's going to be 31-19, awaiting the point after.
Still 5:08 left to play, so Souderton doing a heck of a job. Not giving up.
And looks like they're going to go for it. I'm still waiting to see if Chuck Tanetta is going to be able to come back into the game, or if he was thrown out, or if it was just a pull out by Coach Yock. But they are
Coach
going
Yock's
for
called
2.
timeout as they're not ready for the 2-point conversion.
And now he's not happy throwing off the headphones.
Either they should have been ready for that 2-point conversion. I'm sure that's what Coach Yock's upset about. He saw something he didn't want to see, so he takes the timeout.
I believe Schaefer was in there instead of Kincaid. That's what it looks like. There you see Chuck Tornetta on the field. Looks to be a little upset, talking to his buddy and his fellow offensive lineman, Steve Miller. But I'm wondering, Jason, I don't know if you're wondering, but is Chuck done for the game, or is he just sitting out, cooling down for a little bit?
He's not thrown out of the game per se from the officials, but I think the coaches realize that they really don't want, when you put Chuck back in the game and he's infuriated like that, you don't want to risk future game ejections.
And as you know as well as I do, Chuck has a short temper, and
He's calmed it down over the years that he's been since his freshman year, but still, I mean, at this point of the game, I think Chuck should just go over and get a drink of water and just relax. Brian, as we were talking about the game today, I was informed at halftime in the NLCS game it was going into the 14th inning.
Ooh. And I don't know if fans watching saw the Penn State football game. Great finish, 31-27. Penn State won. But now we're back to action here in this PW Souderton game. PW up 31-19. Souderton going for the 2-point conversion after the touchdown. Ball on the 3. Overhaul. It's going to be a pass, and it's in for the 2-point conversion.
That's a lot of momentum with that 2-point conversion. It may not seem that big, but if that could bring the momentum of Souderton getting it onside kick. And right now, let's go over what has to happen on the onside kick for Souderton. A, they've got to get the ball to go 10 yards before somebody from Souderton touches the ball. And then after that, if PW touches it first before 10 yards, that's fine. They kick off from, I think, the 35-yard line.
40-yard line.
The 40.
I believe it's no. Wait. I don't know.
35. The 35-yard line.
I just don't know.
If Souderton gets the ball here, I mean, who knows what can happen? There's been stranger things have happened.
I believe it's from the 40, though, the kick, Jay. I'm not positive,
Either
but
way, Brian.
I believe it's from,
40
it's from the 40-yard line.
So it's got to get to the 50-yard line. The Colonials have their hands team in there with CJ.
They got. Let's go from the far side. They got Jeff Brown, Stu Kupfer, Mike Cho, Dan Kelly, Tim Fleming, and CJ.
So
Sclafani.
they put their 2 tight ends and their wide receiver out on the side they think the ball is going to come to.
And they have a running back, a defensive back, and a linebacker in on the other side. All 3 with great hands. Sclafani, as we know, had 2 interceptions last week, and almost another one tonight.
So this
big.
could get interesting.
This is big. 31-21, 5:08 to go.
Got their timeouts left. I haven't seen them take one yet.
Yeah, I believe Colonial still have 2 left. Souderton has all 3. And this is big. 5:08 to go.
These are the things you practice.
And here's the onside kick. And
Stu
Comfort
Comfort.
picks it up, and he's
What
going
is
to
he
run with the
doing?
ball. And
Come
he
on,
just
Stu.
goes down. Stu, you've got to go down on that play.
Stu's a smarter guy with that. Stu's a smarter guy than that. You don't try to run the ball after that. Who knows what can happen there? But
You know what? I'm sure that's what he's taught. Just taught not to go down. But whatever.
No, he's taught to go
Colonial
down.
still have the ball back. They have the ball back. That's all that counts.
One of the
5:03 to go.
one of the coaches is standing next to us. I'm sure Stu was told to go down on that play. But either case, I mean, that's what they want. They want Stu Comfort to hit the hands of Stu Comfort because his hands are like glue. They're not coming. The ball's not coming.
The ball's
off.
not
It's a
coming out of
touchdown.
that hands. And I believe Chuck Tonetta is back in the game. Oh, no, he's still on the sideline. Sorry. I believe. And
Good night.
there goes Dan Kelly. He's going to go. Oh, stopped at the 5-yard line. Dan Kelly with a 48-yard run. Dan Kelly.
So with that run, so goes Souderton. They can start warming up the bus, Brian. It's a
Start putting
long ride back.
Tonetta, as I was right, was still on the sideline. Dan Kelly picking up 58 yards there.
And I think you should
48 yards there.
reward Kelly with the touchdown here.
Dan Kelly's not used to getting those 48-yard runs, Jay.
He didn't quite know what to do after he got out there.
Hopefully, as Jason said, they will reward Dan Kelly with a touchdown. But first and goal, ball on the 5.
They
Ball
do
goes to
so.
Dan Kelly.
They try to
And
reward him.
Kelly gets stopped at the 1-yard line. Maybe the 2.
Brian, this game got so close, I gave up on stats.
I'm still doing my
Don't
stats.
ask.
Overhaul's got 221 yards passing. That's amazing.
That's the most somebody's had passed against us since Mafacton last week. And that was the most since a few years. But so the pass defense is something maybe they got to work on.
Second and goal, ball on the 2. 4:19 and counting left to go in the game. Colonial's up 31-21 and driving. They should get another touchdown here. We'll see what happens. They got Scott in the backfield. Ball goes to Dan Kelly and gets stopped again. Kelly for a loss of 1 there.
You know what? They better quit thinking about getting Kelly the touchdown. Start thinking about getting a touchdown by somebody.
There you see
'Cause
Dan Kelly on your screen.
As it comes to 3rd down, who knows what can happen if Souderton gets his ball back.
And we saw that
Souderton
goal line stops have
even
happened.
hasn't even had to use a timeout yet. And I'm sure they will if they don't get it. If they don't get in here, the Colonials.
3:39 and counting. Third and goal, ball on the 3-yard line.
So if Souderton defense is bend but do not break, they're starting to bend really tight here.
Paul Cuffer gives the ball to Scott.
No,
and
he
Scott
did not.
again couldn't get in. Colonial's just being stopped on the goal line. This is not Colonial football.
And I don't see Souderton calling a timeout as of yet.
Still
I
a
guess
lot of
they
time
think they
left,
need 2 scores anyway. You can't use it
though.
yet.
Yeah. Chuck Tornetta back in the game finally for the Colonials after
So you see
cooling
what
down for a
happened?
little bit.
They couldn't get in without him, so now coaches say, all right, we need you,
Yeah,
Chuck.
Chuck, get back in there. Just keep your temper down. 2:55.
Show how instrumental Chuck is on that offensive line.
Yeah, he's a big guy on that offensive line. 4th and 1, ball on the 1-yard line. Colonials give the ball to Dan Kelly, who gets in for the touchdown. Dan Kelly finally gets rewarded for the touchdown. Nice run by Dan Kelly. 1-yard scamper.
So this extra point is actually rather crucial, as it may be.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
it's still. I still think it's out of reach though. There's not much time left to go. It's going to be a.
We'll see if Fold can make the extra point.
It's going to be a 17-point lead if Fold gets it. Bad snap, but Fold gets it up, and it's good. 2:43 left to go in the game. Clarence up 38-21.
Very high-scoring game,
Very. That's not what I was expecting.
especially not after the first quarter.
Yeah. Fold now got to get ready for the kick. And as we were noticing, Chuck Tornetta there was put back in the game, and he just rushed into the end zone, trying to get the defense to bite on that. That's the side they're going to, and they ran to the opposite side. Very smart play by the Colonials offensive coaches. Smart play to get it
So
that.
now the Colonial starters should probably be out of the game at this point in time. No need for any injuries.
We'll see what happens, though, because they have a lot of their starters back out on the kickoff team. So we'll see what happens with the regular defense.
And BW side must think it's over as all the coaches from up at the top of the press box are starting to head down.
Yeah, coming off the field now. Or going onto the field now, coming out of the press box.
So, Brian, hopefully if the Colonials continue to win their last few games, we'll be able to
Broadcast
make a
playoffs.
CITV road trip.
You got to love CITV road trips for football playoffs. Nothing gets better than that. Full with another little squib kick. Picked up at the 20-yard line. And hit hard. Sean Tamaro and Chris
Those road
Dempsey.
trips are exciting, Brian.
Yeah.
Last year we were at CV West.
And
They gave me a
Downingtown?
press pass at CV West. It was nice. In Downingtown, me and Scott had our own little room for that one.
And Colonial starters are still in the game, Jason.
Well,
2:37 left to go in the game. And still, Colonials have not got a sack on Overhaul yet this game.
no, I mean they haven't, but right,
Lot
I'm
of
sure they'll
pressure.
work on that during the week.
A lot of pressure, though. Overhaul back to pass. Cuffer in with the pressure. Caught nicely by Mendez with the no gain. Overhaul is now 8 for 10, 221 yards passing.
And that's nice. I mean, and if he happened to get a big gain here, that would push him pretty high.
There you see Overhaul at number 18 on your screen, quarterback for Souderton. 2 minutes to go in the game. Time winding down for Souderton. They need 18 to win, 17 to tie. Overhaul with a nice pass, a little high and out of
Pass
bounds.
interference.
Pass interference on, looks like it's going to be
Steve
pass interference on
Whitman.
Steve Whitman. We're waiting to see what the official call is, but me and Jason are both guessing pass interference. Now, Jason, as time is winding down, there's 1:52 left to go. We have to start thinking about our players of the game. You got to give credit to
Players of the
Quinn,
game.
Kelly, Scott. They've all had great games. Even Overhaul, even if he loses, he still had a good game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you for your pick of the game yet, for your player of the game yet, but you might want to start thinking about that one. Pass interference on the Colonials.
And hopefully pretty soon you can vote for the player of the game on www.citv.com.
Our website is almost up and running. We're so close to getting there. Eric Kitai is in charge of the website.
That'll come when we get the new truck also.
Yeah. Colonials now, Indians with the first down due to that pass interference. Overhaul back to pass again. No shock there. Overhaul being pressured. Throws high. And, almost picked off by James Scott.
So I mean, it wasn't just the backs, Kelly, Scott, and Quinn. I mean, the offensive line did a great job.
Defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Colonials did a good job. After that first half, they did not look good at all.
Exactly,
And
but
they did a nice job coming back in the second half and showing what this team was actually made
finally
of.
brought it together. And as we said, Colonials will and always have been a fourth quarter team.
And if you're watching this game Sunday morning and right at the night after the game, don't forget the soccer team will have a night game Tuesday night right here at Colonial Field. And they're playing against Souderton as well. So hopefully it'll be double the pleasure for the Colonials.
That'll be a CITV broadcast. Jason and I believe, will be broadcasting that game.
Don't be shy.
Coming from you?
I want every one of you guys out here at the game tonight watching the game on CITV to bring you, yourself, and one other friend out to the game to watch this soccer team. They've got 5 wins this year. They're doing a good job.
Pretty good season. Coach Chris McWilliams, the director of CITV, assistant director of CITV, he's actually working in the truck today, getting some fall sports action. Overhaul now brings him to the line. It's going to be 3rd and 10. Ball from the 48-yard line. Overhaul, play action pass. Has no pressure, has a lot of time, and throws it complete.
And now there's a
To
penalty
Ham.
down. Looks like possibly a holding.
It's going to be an 11-yard pickup if it's
Calder's
right.
holding on Souderton.
So that play is negated.
Ladies and gentlemen, homecoming next week, 1:30 here at Colonial.
Pushing them back deeper, Jason. Now with 1:25 left to go to get in the game. There you see some of the Colonials coaches on the screen, and there you see the official holding on Souderton. Colonials putting in some of the reserves right now. Number 44 for the Colonials getting in there. That's
Jeff Brown. He's been in there the whole game, Brian.
Jeff Brown. But now are they on? They're not on
Hey,
offense
hey,
again, though.
oh, yeah.
They're on defense. Jeff Brown getting in
You're
there
right.
on offense.
You're right, I'm
on
wrong.
defense. 53, Mike Dinolfi getting in there. Jason trying to doubt me.
No, it's not that. Not. I'm not going to say anything.
1:15 and counting left to go in the game. 3rd and 25. Ball in the 35. Overhaul. Will be back to pass again. Has time. Going to go deep and caught. And gets it back up to the original line of scrimmage and more.
He's hopping from inbounds to out of bounds.
We'll see where they give him the spot.
He should be around 8 yards short of the first down.
Sorry, it's not first down. It is
Yeah, he got about 17 on that one.
7.
So here is Souderton's last offensive play if they don't get the first down here.
And 50 seconds and counting left to go in the game. Overhaul will be back to pass again. It's going to be 4th and 7. Overhaul being pressured again, and he gets it. Great defensive play by Steve Whitman, but a flag.
Come on.
Bad play.
call
Bad
me-
call.
Call me a homer if you want, but there's no need for a flag there with 48 seconds left. Looked like good defense by Steve Whitman.
Looks like he timed it perfectly to me. Pass interference, Whitman. I don't like that call. That's Whitman's second pass interference call of the game. And the fans getting on the official here.
I mean, so I guess the refs just want to prolong this game and stand out there in the cold weather.
Exactly. They want to keep the fans are now emptying out at Colonial Field. 38-21, 48 seconds left to go in the game.
I think it's a moral victory here if Souderton can score a touchdown, but that's not what they were looking for. They didn't come here looking for moral victories. And, oh, by the way, Courtney Pope's in the game.
Yeah, Courtney Pope and Brian Tornetta. The reserves getting in there. You got to love Courtney Pope getting in the game. CITV's co-sports producer with Jason. Overhaul back to pass. He's going to go. Ooh, nice play. Knocked out of the hands on the tackle.
Courtney said last game that in the fourth quarter when he got in against Bethacton that he had his best game yet because he was playing such good defense, they didn't bother throwing to his side.
I feel like our
Courtney Pope put it into perspective.
the pregame show we did against the Wissahickon game, Joe Russo picked Courtney Pope to be player of the game. He almost got that call. Almost got the player of the game there.
Almost.
42 seconds left to go. 2nd and 10. Overhaul will be back to pass again. Being pressured. Overhaul gets it away to, I believe that's Lynch. That's Ball picking up 6.
And Ball using his brains and not going out of bounds. So they have to use the timeout. Could you prolong this game any longer, Brian?
I don't believe you could.
We are over the 2-hour mark. 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 10 seconds.
30 seconds left to go, though, and there's a timeout on the field. Let's run down some quick stats right now. I'm going to run down for Souderton since Jason stopped keeping them at about halftime for PW. Overhaul is now 9 for 13, 244 yards passing.
Good
Those
night.
passes were 1 to Bauer for 10 yards, 5 to Tahowski for 96. The big one, Lynch, 5 passes and 138 yards. Big
Nice
day
job.
for Lynch.
Nice job.
Running for Souderton was Fretz had 2 carries for 3 yards. Mendez had 10 for 33. Ball 5 for 15, and Overhaul, the quarterback, 3 for 10.
The only stat that I need to tell you is, Brian, that the Colonials are winning 38-21 with only 30 seconds left, and that tells it all. I think the turning point in the game was that 4-down stop that the Colonials had on the goal line.
Yeah,
that was
a
just
big,
pretty.
big play. Overhaul, back to pass again. Stu Cuffer knocks his hand down, and incomplete pass. Nice play by Cuffer.
Good job of Cuffer getting in there.
Great play by Cuffer to apply the pressure, but again, the clock is stopped. 25 seconds left to go. This game is just being prolonged longer than it has to be. We're getting caught up here in the press box. My counterpart, Jason's wearing a shirt and tie. He's got to be cold. I'm at least wearing a jacket.
Brian didn't even offer me his sweatshirt. That's how nice of a guy he is.
Yeah, because I would have been cold. Fumble. And picked up by Overhaul again, but the clock is still running.
Souderton calls timeout here. Oh, the Colonials
got the ball. I thought Souderton got it, but I guess the Colonials got it.
Finally, they'll put an end to this
Are you gonna
fourth quarter of misery.
Do you put Paul Cuffer back in for the last 19 seconds, or do you go with Fulmer for the kneel down?
Does it really matter?
I don't think so, but we'll see what quarterback comes in.
Fulmer will get in.
Fulmer gets in for the kneel down, most likely. Should be a kneel down.
That'll just add to Fulmer's time for the year.
Exactly. There you see the Souderton huddle. 19 seconds left to go. 38-21 Colonials. Ball on the 30-yard line for the Colonials. It should be a kneel down for Fulmer. Nothing stupid, hopefully. Hopefully Colonials coaches didn't tell him to do anything. Looks like they're going to kneel down. They got 3 running backs in the backfield, though. And, yeah, Fulmer kneels down, and that should run out the clock unless Souderton calls timeout.
I don't think they're doing that.
And time is going to wind down here. Souderton hopefully doesn't call a timeout.
Well, Brian.
And they don't, and that's the game, Jason. Final score, 38-21 in favor of the Colonials. Now, Jason, that all-important time. Who is your player of the game?
My player of the game would have to be Craig Quinn.
My player of the game is, I know the team lost. I know Souderton lost, but I'm still going to have to pick Nate Overhaul. Had a great game. He had over 230 yards passing.
Yeah, but
10 yards rushing. Even though his team lost, he had a great statistic-wise game. We'd like to thank our crew here, Rob Kakagna, Bill Meehan, Andrew Zimmer on cameras. In the truck, we had Drew Sulak, Anthony Zangara, and Mr. McWilliams. For Jason Mandel and Eric Kita, I'm Brian Roosevelt. We'll see you next week for homecoming here. Colonials play Quakertown. We're out of here.